Welcome to Impossible Coin.
Bleh.
Why do you say bleh?
Bleh.
We do not say bleh here in Transylvania.
Oh, my
You've said it
bead.
twice.
My bead.
Why do you say bleh?
I think it's fun to say bleh.
Oh, well,
It's not a cultural thing, it's a me thing.
Oh, okay. You're just living out loud, huh?
Eee. Somebody has to in this dead place.
Well, it is I, Baron Bob Tepes. I am a vampire. Drinking blood has gone out of style, and so I am a podcaster.
Well, I guess that is a kind of energy vampire, sure.
Yes.
We do the hot takes.
No, my takes are very cold. You could listen to any number of white guys and hear exactly the things I will say.
This is my favorite character.
Also, I like to talk about Squarespace.
Of course you do.
I am joined making sweet music by Tegan Somerset.
Yeah. What up?
Thank you for podcasting.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time.
And from the barren reaches of furthest West Texas, Rocky Hardy.
Yeah, it's me. What up?
Thank you for podcasting.
No problem, dude.
So when did you two stop drinking blood?
Bold of you to assume I have stopped.
What?
The last time, okay, I will say this. The last time I actively drank blood was in middle school.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I guess 2001, 2002.
I think my last blood drink was, oh, shit. Actually, no, it was about 2 months ago. That's kind of wild.
Okay, I do want to know that story.
Nah, it was just like something that was bleeding and it didn't stop. And so, like, I couldn't get it to close properly, so I drank some of the blood until, I got it to stop.
Valid. That is what you're supposed to do.
I don't think that's right.
I mean, it is. Like, if you have a wound that won't close, you can, like, lick it. That is a thing you were supposed to do.
I tell you, I have seen a lot of YouTube, and I have never seen that suggested.
So the
I do want to let you know, Mr. Tepes, I mean, you are a vampire, so I don't know if you can actually comment that much on wound care.
Oh, yeah, that's valid.
Are you saying that because I myself do not bleed, that I cannot comment on wound care?
I'm just saying that I have to take anything that you say about wound care with a grain of salt. I hope you understand.
Are you a doctor or otherwise a medical professional?
Are you a doctor or medical professional?
I mean, no, but my mom is an ER nurse, and she is the one who told me that if you can't get a wound to close, you should lick it. Or put honey on it. Honey works too.
What the heck? Why is Brian's father calling him? This is crazy. That is totally unexpected. If I were not myself Baron Bob Tepes, I would say, guys, I should find out why my dad is calling. That's really weird. But I'm Baron Bob Tepes.
Okay. Brian, do you want to call your father?
Jesus, what Christ. God damn it. All right. I suppose.
Temporary pause, everybody. We'll be right back.
All right.
Bitches, we are back!
We are back, bitches!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Impossible Coin. I'm Brian Cartwright.
I'm Tegan Somerset. Behind the scenes, there was a 20-minute intermission where Rocky and I decided we were going to do a TikTok bit as our comeback message, so you knew what was going on.
I'm very sorry about the 20-minute intermission. I apologize.
It's okay, it's fine. You know what, Brian? The nugget that you came back to us with was glorious enough that I forgive you for all 20-minute intermissions, past and future.
Oh, Lord. Like, I think that maybe here and there. Have I ever mentioned my father on this radio program?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Otherwise, it was just like, oh shit, Brian has a father? That's crazy.
That's so wild. He came from places.
The deep war.
So what happened was, Rocky and Tegan were podcasting with a vampire, and the vampire, Baron Bob Tepes, was holding my phone. You know, that's we don't know why. He just was. He seemed like a nice vampire. He seemed like he was going over with y'all.
In the same way that everyone who Brian invites into his house ends up holding his phone.
But anyway, so Baron Bob Tepes was holding my phone and signaled to me that my father was calling. And I was like, this seems remarkably unusual. My dad never calls me. Like, I always call my dad. What is going on here? This must obviously be an emergency. And so, like, very quickly, we took a break so that I could reach out to my dad and find out what was up. And my dad says to me, "Hello, Brian. I was in the kitchen talking with your sister Erin about the Pinewood Derby cars I built in the Boy Scouts when I was 12 and 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have not yet been a 75-year-old man.
Maybe someday.
I mean, odds aren't good. But anyway.
Don't say that. We're going to be doing this podcast for 1,000 years.
Yeah, probably.
And so...
I want to be in the home sending Rocky versions of this podcast to edit.
I've got to send Rocky the episode this week so he can edit it.
It's the only thing he does.
I've sent it to your mind, Crystal Rocky.
Rocky, please make sure to take the part out where I'm coughing up a lung. It's not attractive. We got to impress the boys. I want to be a young and desirable grandma.
I'm old. So my dad told me that basically my sister was tired about hearing about these fucking Pinewood Derby cars. I was like, call Brian. Tell Brian about the Pinewood Derby cars.
He was like, fine, I will call Brian.
And he goes, I never talked to my son. I should do that.
And so the reason my phone rang was the Great Pinewood Derby emergency of fucking 2021. Jesus Christ.
Great.
And so then, after all this fucking buildup about Pinewood Derby cars, he's like, but there's a lot of detail there, and I don't want to leave anything out. So I had best leave the Pinewood Derby cars for the next time I see you face to face.
Oh my god! I was about to tell you that he's gonna tell you about his story the next time you visit.
I hope he has the photos, you know, like he pulls out, this is the one that I made in 1963, and this one, 1964, is a little slower, had a little extra drag, I'm not sure why. Like,
I think I didn't sand it enough. We are poking fun at your dad and good fun. This is all good fun.
So these would have been the Pinewood Derby cars of 1958 and 59.
True.
Wow.
That's actually older than my parents, so that works out.
So when my dad was building Pinewood Derby cars, your parents didn't exist?
My parents did not exist, no.
I'm old. I'm old!
No,
parents might have existed.
Brian, your dad's old, bro. Your dad is old.
My uncle at least existed. My uncle existed. I know that. My uncle and my dad are like 10 years apart, so...
For sure.
You know.
Which one's the accident?
Probably my dad.
Okay, yeah. That's usually the way it works. When you have, like, a cohort of children, and one of them is, like, disproportionately not included in the age range, and you're like, hey, look, here's, like, 4 kids. Like, this one's 30, this one's 28, this one's 26, this one's 14. You're
Yeah,
like,
no,
hey,
it's
14.
just... Here's the thing. It's my uncle and my dad, and that's it. There is no cohort. It is 1 and 2. I have a small family. I got a mom with a sister and a dad with a brother. And that's it.
I mean, sometimes it'd be like that.
My father is one of 3 children, and the ages all sync up. There's no weirdness there.
No weird gaps. Gotcha.
No weird gaps. My grandpa, Ralph, was one of 9 children.
Woof.
He was the 8th of 9.
That's why.
Yeah.
My grandma was one of 5. And then my dad's parents were both like 1 of 2. So.
Yeah. So after my dad says to me, like, you don't get to get the Pinewood Derby deets because you're not here, he's like, well, how's the dog?
Oh my god. Dad, this could have been a text message. Just tell me you want to come over.
And I'm like, the dog is fine. For me, like, why don't you come over is not really practical because, like I live in Arizona and, like, everyone I'm related to lives in Virginia. Mm-hmm. I'm like, the dog is fine. We took the dog to get her glucose curve on Friday. This was, like, her 5th glucose curve. Every time she goes to get her glucose curve, it's like $350. And, you do that for, like, 10 straight weeks. Imagine buying a Nintendo Switch OLED every other week for 2.5 months.
I would fucking cry. I would be so poor.
But instead of getting a Nintendo Switch OLED, you get to just have your dog around longer because you're taking care of them.
I would be so poor. I'd do it, but I'd be so poor.
And so he once again marveled at the idea of, like, diabetes care for a dog. It just, like, every time I mention that we're doing something for the dog's diabetes, he's just like, let me get this straight. Dogs get diabetes.
Yeah, of course they do. Fuck.
Well,
you know who doesn't get diabetes? Tegan. For all the sugar I eat, I am functionally incapable of getting diabetes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is chapter 4 of my essay. Tegan is not a mammal.
Oh my god. Not a mammal?
Not a mammal,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Where am I?
We've been building the evidence for years.
Dun, dun, dun.
He then marveled at the idea of Tegan. Marveled at the idea of Tegan. He marveled at the idea of Buffy getting, like, insulin injections twice a day. He marveled at the idea of prescription dog food. He's like, how can you prescribe dog food?
It's very easy. The same way you prescribe people food.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, you see, what's crazy, Dad? What's crazy is because, humans are animal caretakers. What can happen is you can go to a fucking doctor and they're like, feed your dog this. They write a script and then you buy the dog food. Humans are stupid assholes, and so, like, when the doctor's like, eat this little bit of chicken and then, like, leafy vegetables, and humans are like, I'm untouchable, and they don't do it. Like, that's why there's not really prescription human food.
I would like there to be prescription human food. If I could, like, buy a cookbook that is like, this is the tasty good food that you need to eat, and we know you're going to like it, I would do it.
See, Tegan, that's the thing. What if I told you that there will be some food which is good for you that you will like, but there's also some food that needs to be part of your diet that you're not going to like?
Oh, disgusting, no.
And then that's where we are. That's right back to, like...
If it's not tasty, why would I eat it?
Yep.
I just want it to be tasty.
Thank you for coming to Tegan's How to Care for Yourself and How to Wreck Your Body show.
Tune in next week where I maybe wreck my body.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a fever dream, but I seem to remember at some point on this show Tegan talking about putting, like, either Skittles or Reese's Pieces into a fucking omelet, and I don't know
jelly
if that
beans.
was...
It was jelly beans.
Oh, God, just fucking...
It probably would have been better with Skittles, honestly.
I think Reese's Pieces are actually the way to go in that particular scenario.
I mean, yeah, because you get the single taste with the single peanut butter. Like, that makes sense. The jelly beans, I'm going to tell you right now, were a bad move if you don't want to go back and find that episode. Jelly beans are a bad move because the variety of flavors blend poorly with the egg mixture. Yeah. But specifically, like, the spearmint ones and the licorice ones are absolute trash. If you can stick to just the fruit-flavored jelly beans, that might be okay.
Well, I'm here to say, nuke it from orbit. That's the only way to be sure.
For sure. I don't think I'd do it again, except for money.
And I'm just going to say that there's definitely things that we'll do for money, because apparently our Twitch is doing well.
Yeah!
Twitch is a subsidiary of Amazon, a company that I do not speak for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. None of us actually speak for Amazon, but Brian especially does not.
I don't. I also don't speak for my dog, except when I do. That's at the vet.
No, then you advocate for your dog. It's different.
Then I advocate for my dog. Now my dog gets to go to the doggy eye doctor, which is literally a separate doctor. It's an eye doctor just for dogs.
Yeah, doggy eye doctor. Can I tell you something really fun? My audiology professor in college did hearing aids for dogs. That was like his specialty research thing, was hearing aids for dogs. They were so cute.
My dog is going to get doggy cataract surgery.
Oh, your dog needs cat surgery. I know those are different things.
Right. Because right now she is pretty much effectively blind. And so I would like for her to see things. Our little sweet puppy princess. Those are some of the things going on in this house. Our little void cat. Since we acquired the void cat last November, it's been wild because this has been like, I guess our first Halloween season with the void fully incorporated into the home. And it's kind of like he knows, like, yeah, this is my month. I'm famous. He just like gets up on front of the fucking TV all the time. He's been an extra rascal the last 2 weeks.
Aw, he knows.
Yeah. He does that little like pose where he like arches his back and he's like, yeah, I'm on all the greeting cards.
He's like, check me out. Hiss.
Yep. That exactly. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh my
Kage.
God.
A little goofball.
You named him Kage.
Yes. Yes, we did.
I know, that's on you. No wonder he's a little goofball.
He a good goofball. So, I guess I've got a couple things I want to talk about before we get into news this week.
I mean, generally you talk about video games before we talk about news.
Yes.
But like, you mean aside from video games?
Yeah, I figured I'd like throw a little sauce out there, just a little sauce.
Yeah.
Sometimes we swing further out.
Yeah,
right?
Sometimes. This tracks.
The first thing I will say really, really quickly, and then I won't even dwell there, is that there was this like campaign of escalating hostilities this week between WWE and AEW because they have two shows which normally are not on at the same time, but because of football season, it meant that their shows were directly competing, and they kept on doing stuff to try and like beat each other. It was one of those the customer wins things.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that AEW did to try and like get one over on WWE was they added an extra hour to their program live on YouTube. They're like, hey, before you tune into the show, tune into us on YouTube. And they're like, I don't know, how about we on YouTube with no commercial interruption just have Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki for a half hour. Now, that might not mean nothing to you two, but Jesus fucking Christ. So I sat there, and I was like, I would like to thank Tony Khan for my best birthday present, which is Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki happening for 30 minutes with no commercial interruption. Jesus.
Yay!
If you're curious about why I like wrestling, I'll put it that broadly. Going and looking at this match goes a long way to explaining it. It was perfect. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
I will now talk about a thing which is not perfect. I would like to talk about The Good Life.
Oh, okay. That's not what I thought you were going to go for. But okay.
Yeah.
What's The Good Life?
The Good Life is the new sweary game. And, like, sweary games are generally weird, broken messes. Mm-hmm. But they're usually weird, broken messes in a way that I think contributes to the enjoyment of them, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So far, the ways that The Good Life is a weird, broken mess are not contributing to my enjoyment of it. So far. It's early days yet, and I'm planning on continuing and pushing deeper into this because, like, I am such a big sweary fan. Like, historically, sweary games hit well for me. So it feels weird to be getting into a sweary game and being like,
this isn't quite what I want. I got
right, exactly. So, like, so far, like, the various different, like, gameplay components of The Good Life feel very, very underbaked. The open world slice of life stuff where you're, like, running around town doing little things for people feels underbaked.
Oh, okay.
The stuff with it being, like, a photography game where you're running around with a camera, the photography gameplay feels underbaked. The part where you turn into a cat at night because the game has a, full day-night cycle, the cat stuff feels underbaked. The investigation of the murder also feels underbaked. Like, when this game was announced, and it was like, basically, it was like, what would happen if you took Deadly Premonition and crossed Deadly Premonition with Animal Crossing, while also making it about, like, about crushing debt, because that's another, like, overarching theme of the game, is that, like, debt is crushing and will destroy you. I was like, okay, so Deadly Premonition crossed with Animal Crossing and making it about crushing debt sounded like a good idea, and it still sounds like a good idea. It just feels very much like this had another year in development that it should have had. But again, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not quite ready to, like, shit in this game's briefcase. Like, it could very well be that I just need to spend some more time with it, and I need to really, like, find the loop of this game. But, like, I remember when, like, Swery made, like, this, like, weird, goofy game for, like, the Kinect for Xbox One called D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die. And when I started playing it, it immediately clicked. Like, I'm just so used to, like, with Swery games, them immediately clicking with me. And that's kind of where I'm struggling. Like, that game, The Missing, that, like, he did a few years ago, The Missing was awesome. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. As I know more, I will report more.
I mean, not every game is going to be a hit.
Yeah, but he's the Deadly Premonition guy. He's the D4 Dark.
I mean,
Dark
yeah,
Dreams
but,
Don't
like,
Die.
not every game is going to be a hit, and maybe this was just one that didn't, wasn't sparking joy during creation.
I mean, I know that he pretty much got to do whatever he wanted during the creation of this game, and that was also, like, that was part of the pitch to customers with the Kickstarter. Like, this is Swery Unchained. Swery as weird as you could possibly imagine. Swery Unchained was, like, a pitch that was, like, very appealing to me. Like, I threw something like, I think, like, $200 or something like this on Kickstarter. Like, I did not fuck around. Mm-hmm. I was like, how much for the really nice limited edition?
Oof.
So,
Yeah, it sounds like you are definitely not getting a $200 experience.
I do want to say, I don't think The Good Life is really comparable to D4 or The Missing, because I think they're fundamentally different games. I think you are going to spend a bit more time finding its loop, because it's necessarily more complicated.
And I totally agree, Rock, and that's why I said I wasn't ready to, like, shit in its briefcase.
Right. Like, even something like Animal Crossing. Like, Animal Crossing can be goofy. If like you like Rover in the first 5 minutes, then sure, you're in. But like as far as like actually playing the game, it takes time for you to like dig into like the characters or like experience like the actual like joy of like fishing or bug catching. Because at first you're just doing random shit, and then like while you spend time in the space, it like returns that like, joy to you. So give it a minute.
And I hope it was clear that I fully intend to.
Mm-hmm.
How far are you into the experience?
About 3 hours.
Oh, okay. So you're sub 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, like, by 3 hours into, like, say, D4, a weird girl dressed as a cat had already attacked me in my own apartment. And then it was revealed that my character knew the weird girl dressed as a cat, and that this cat girl attack was expected and a normal part of his life. He's like, oh, well, the cat girl attacked me. And then a guy came over and was just like, time to eat sandwiches, and started, like, just making these massive sandwiches and just eating them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like a Connect like reflex game for like eating sandwiches, and it just like it was strange. And I was like, holy shit, it's the sandwich guy. That guy was in Deadly Premonition. And that like Deadly Premonition was already by 3 hours in super fucking weird and a good time. And like I'll say this, like I think part of what The Good Life is doing, which I am behind, and it's just taking a little while to get used to, is that like since so much of the core conceit of the game is built around the idea of like the inevitability of debt, the crushing nature of debt, and how like the idea that like debt takes the joy out of things, I think that might be like central to like the mechanics of the game, because like so much of what you're doing in the game is just like trying to make just enough money with your photography that you have enough money to live while paying down your debt. You're like, oh, okay, I need money to subsist, and then everything I don't need to subsist, I'll throw at paying down my credit cards. And like, I know, like, because you know, like, Swery has talked about how Animal Crossing informed some of his design choices for The Good Life, because like he noticed that so much of like the core gameplay loop of like early to mid Animal Crossing is about debt repayment.
Mm-hmm.
He's really just like taking the piss out of it, you know? There's definitely a feeling to like going into The Good Life to like the camera store where there's all this cool like photography equipment for sale. And my character's like, yeah, I can't afford any of this because I need to pay my credit cards.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like, I guess that's a whole vibe. Like, I need to spend more time with it. Like, his works are socially complex, and they require time to really get into. Like, right now, like, the game that I feel bad for not having, like, a completed book report on here is Metroid Dread. Because like I should have a reasonable amount of time in for Metroid Dread already, but instead I can't even begin to tell y'all how much time I've been spending playing fucking Zookeeper World. Before the recording of this podcast, I made a point of pulling up my hour count for Zookeeper World.
Mm-hmm.
When did this game come out? I need to get a launch date for this game. This will probably make me feel either better or worse. Let's see here. Zookeeper World release date. Okay, it came out September 10th. For those of you keeping track at home, we are recording on October 17th.
Mm-hmm. So about
and that is 37 days, which I guess means that I've been playing an average of 4.6 hours a day since release.
Wow!
Nah, for sure.
That's all. You're really enjoying that one, I guess.
Yeah, I have 170 hours in Zookeeper World.
God.
I am currently ranked number 350 in the world for Best Zoo. I am pushing hard to try, like, I want to be in the top 10 zoos.
All right.
Okay? I need it.
Oh
I
my
need
goodness.
it. And so I am out there fighting every boss rush event to collect more gems so that way I can buy more costumes for my animals.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I have got all of my giraffes in my zoo are dressed up like football players because why not? And in addition to needing gems to dress up my animals in costumes, I need to do one more expansion to my zoo, because if I get one more expansion to my zoo, then I can plant cherry blossom trees and I can have enough room to build the hippo exhibit. And there is a person who comes to the zoo who has been asking to see hippos. And if I can get him to see the hippos, he'll become a supporter of my zoo.
Mm-hmm.
That's very exciting, which means that, if he's a supporter of the zoo, he will then make a daily pledge to my zoo. So, I've already beat the game, obviously, right?
Sure.
They dropped DLC after a month after release, right? It came out September 10th, and then October 10th, they dropped, the first DLC, and I've already beat the DLC. And so now, I'm going back, trying to get an excellent rating on the levels, because when I get an excellent rating on the levels, if I have not previously got an excellent rating, then that will get me more gems to buy animals' costumes. I have built lots of decorations in my zoo, which are, to fill out the place to get my zoo a higher rating, which are not animal related.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little popcorn stand, which is very nice. And so I watch my little patrons to my zoo line up to buy popcorn. I have a photo booth. My zoo is very cool. I also now have this little panda cart. My zoo has gotten big enough that I can drive around my zoo in my panda cart, which is neat. Patrons can also drive the panda cart around the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's also this game is taunting me for being oh, I guess you didn't realize that you were going to spend 170 hours playing Zookeeper World. It's a panda cart, Brian.
I mean, most people like pandas, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people do like pandas, that's true.
It's not a flamingo cart. It's not a lion cart. It's not a fennec fox cart. It's the panda cart. And, I also feed my animals daily, run around tossing various delicious snacks into their enclosures. I upgraded the statue in the middle of the zoo. So now, it's a big, moe head, Easter Island. It's great. It's great. I am here to answer any questions you might have about Zookeeper World.
I don't really have any questions, but I'm glad you're having a good time.
Yeah, same.
Are you gonna put the cherry blossoms by the pandas?
I don't know. There is I have had some thoughts that, I might need to completely reorganize my zoo in order to get, a higher score. What, so, how, in Animal Crossing, once a week there's the fuck you, judge your house scoring?
Yeah, the Happy Home Academy.
The Happy Home Academy. There's a similar conceit, but it's just, a live score in Zookeeper World. So there's, live scoring as far as, how nice your zoo is. And, some of the stuff is, very, very easily controllable, which is, how many animals you have on display. And it's okay, so how many animals you have on display is, something which is easily controlled. But then you get a better score for your animals if you have enclosures that allow for mixed display of animals. So, do you have something which will allow you to put different kinds of animals into the same enclosure? Because more people like that. Which means that it might benefit me to go back and replace some of my earlier enclosures, which were only supporting, single animal types, with, mixed enclosure types. And some of the areas that, I marked off for, non-animal display visitor amenities, I could, integrate better into the overall design of the zoo so that way stuff meshes together. Like, I have a slide for the kids that looks like an elephant, so that way the kids, like, slide down the elephant trunk.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm like, well, why don't I put this beside the fucking elephant enclosure, because that'll increase my score.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So, like, I've been hesitant to hit it, but, like, I know that I probably will, because I got to hit that top 10 zoos. I just need it. I'm already better than most zoos. I scrolled to the bottom to see how many active zoos there are. It made me feel good about my zoo, but not good enough. There are currently about 200,000 people in the active player base.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I'm already better than most of these zoos. Like, I am in, like, the top 0.1 percentile of zoos, but I can be better. I can be better.
I can be better than all of them.
Yes. But I think that, like, hitting the rebuild button, and, like, when you hit the rebuild button, it just kind of, like, puts all of the animals that you've acquired into, like, a holding pattern, and then, like, gives you, like, the gold value of all the stuff that you've, like, hit rebuild on. And so, like, okay, so if I do that, then I can make sure everything's in the right place. You know, alternatively, something I could do is I can go into, like, the build mode, where it kind of, like, gives you, like, a floating Eye of God thing, where you could just, like, move stuff around. And, like, I thought it might be nice, like, once I get, like, the next expansion to the zoo itself, that I could build, like, a concourse lined with cherry blossom trees. Because, like, each individual item has what's called a charm value. And, like, the charm value of the cherry blossom trees is pretty high. Like, each one, like, the charm value is like 1,048 charm. So, like, the cherry blossom trees are, like, more charming than even some of the shittier animals. But, like, the problem is that, like, you can't upgrade the charm of, like, cherry blossom trees. You can upgrade the charm of, like, animals by getting them little outfits.
Mm.
But it's all about, like, figuring out, like, how can I display the most non-animal items while displaying the most animals. So it's a mystery, but one I will crack, because I am playing a lot of Zookeeper World. Maybe it's because I wasn't like I didn't really participate in the DS, like when the DS was in active release.
Brian, you don't have to justify why you're playing Zookeeper World.
No, Rocky, I'm not. I'm not. Like, I'm not. I'm just. I guess what I'm just saying is like, I'm sad that I'm, like, late to the game on this series, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, that, like, I know that, like, the Zookeeper series has, like, ardent fans and has people who are, like, very excited, like, when the new Zookeeper game got announced. And they're like, I've been playing Zookeeper ever since it was on the DS. And I guess I just wish I was one of those people. I wish I was one of the people who had years of time playing Zookeeper.
Okay.
Yeah. It is also spooky movie season.
It is spooky movie season.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actively trying to be good about this year. Something I don't think I've talked a lot about on the show is that I love passionately horror movies. I have the poster art for the film Suspiria as a tattoo.
Every episode I learn one of y'all has a fucking tattoo.
Brian has a lot of tattoos. There's like 12 or something.
Yeah, I have a lot of tattoos. You know, I've got a Bride of Frankenstein tattoo. I've got the Suspiria tattoo. I've got a tattoo of a witch. You know, and, you know, like, I love spooky movies. And so I've been trying to be, you know, make sure I'm making time to watch spooky movies this year. And I've watched some that I've never watched before, and I've been satisfied by quite a few of them. I watched a movie called You're Next. Strong recommend. Wowie wow. It does a lot of, like, breaking rules of slashers in, like, very, very, like, shocking ways.
Well, that's always fun.
Yeah, like, it was so wild to see, like literally, like, halfway through the movie, right? The character who will end up being the final girl just kills one of the guys. Just kills him. 45 minutes into this movie, dude is just dead on the ground. She, like, grabs the back of his head, pulls it up, tears his mask off and says to some of the other people, she's like, anybody recognize this guy? And it's like, holy shit, he's just fucking dead. Like that guy was like walking around with an axe like 2 seconds ago.
It's like, yeah, and move on.
Right.
Do you know him?
Just like, yeah, and it's just like, it's just such a badass feeling. And like another thing it did was reveal like the conspiracy of who is in league with the killers outside the house before the final girl knows it. Like a lot of times, like when the killer is somebody that the viewers know, these kind of movies like to reveal that to the viewer at the same time that they reveal it to the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, ta-da, like Billy and Sue are the killers in Scream. Sydney is finding out at the same time the audience is. And in this movie, the viewers find out before the main character does, which like helps to create tension because we know who's not being honest with her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, ah! And I also know that like this movie is like literally 10 years old at this point, and I am what they call late to the party. But I loved it. It's fantastic. Strong recommend. After watching it, I then immediately watched the director's next film, which is a movie called The Guest, which stars Dan Stevens, who's that fucking guy from Downton Abbey. I don't know if either of y'all people watch Downton Abbey. And in this movie, he plays like a guy who just like shows up at the house of somebody he was in the army with and is like, howdy, y'all. I was in the army with your son. And they're like, well, why don't you stay here? And then shit goes sideways. And I guess like the best way to describe the plot of The Guest is it's a combination of The Manchurian Candidate, First Blood, and Mary Poppins.
All right.
Yep. And it's like, what if Mary Poppins was the Manchurian Candidate and thought that the best way to solve the family's problems was by killing people? It's a wild ride. Also very good. It makes me very sad that this director, who was like making all these like really interesting films, has now been like subsumed into the Hollywood machine of, so you make interesting films, huh? Well, why don't you now direct like $200 million special effects spectacles? Like the director of You're Next and The Guest was the director of Godzilla versus Kong. That is his most recent movie.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know about all that. But yeah, lots of spooky movies. If you want spooky movie recos for this season, hit me up on our Twitter. Just at the Twitter, and I will reco you. And if there would be any listener interest, maybe we could do a live watch together on Discord. That could be a thing for spooky season. Tegan, what is up with you?
Nothing. Nothing at all. There's never anything up with me. No, I'm kidding.
Sweetie God, your fucking section gets longer every week, Tegan. You still say nothing.
I do.
It's a bit.
So, Twitch stuff first, I guess. We are 8 of 13 hearts needed in Breath of the Wild to get the Master Sword. So we're making great progress. Also, I have realized that the next Horizon Zero Dawn movie comes out in February. So I gotta push myself a little bit harder so that I can get to a good place to stop in Breath of the Wild so I can play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Forbidden West.
Yeah. No, I gotta play Horizon Zero Dawn first, and then I gotta play Horizon Forbidden West. I'm playing it so that everybody knows where we are and what's going on. I'm trying to do it for the viewer so that nobody is left behind. They are my Ohana now. Whoops, I did pre-order my copy of Horizon Forbidden West, though, and they still had some of the big fancy $200 special editions left, so I got that one. So guess who's gonna get a Tremor Tusk statue that they have to figure out where they're gonna put in their house? Joke's on you, it's me! I have no idea where it's gonna go. It's great. These are great problems to have, honestly, so, Let's see. Aloy has officially been released in Genshin Impact. If you are on PC or mobile or anything that wasn't the PlayStation systems, I collected my Aloy as soon as I could, and currently I have them at level 20. I I didn't look up what I needed to farm to, like, build her before she came out. And unfortunately, I have to fight the Cryo Cube a bunch. And I have fought the Cryo Cube exactly once. And I hated the fight. So joke's on me. I guess I gotta level up D-Luke so I can fight the stupid Cryo Cube at a reasonable rate.
Wait, the Cryo Cube?
Yeah, the Cryo Cube. Rocky, have you not been keeping up?
I have not, no.
So, a Cryo Cube now exists. Do you remember where the Cryo Flower was in the event for Dragonspine?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so near that now, in the other, like, big open area that we didn't know what to do with, there is now a Cryo Cube.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, and also, spoiler alert, now that Inazuma has dropped, there are 2 new cubes. There's a Pyro Cube and a Hydro Cube.
Oh, I can roast that Hydro Cube for sure.
You know what you'd think? I have tried it, and the first time I fought it, it took me like 12 minutes.
What?
Yeah, and my team is good for fighting Hydro stuff. So it is definitely a time. There's definitely like tech to do it better, but I did what I could. It took 10 minutes. It does this thing where periodically it summons 2 additional like little Hydro slimes, and one of them has like a little halo and will heal it, and the other one attacks you. And also if it gets like all the way, the one is like jumping towards the Hydro Cube, and if it gets in the Hydro Cube, it like does an AoE attack.
Oh, okay.
And the like healing Hydro Slime will just hang out and continue to heal it for the whole fight if you don't kill it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's very frustrating. But the good news is, because like of the way the heals come out, like you can intercept them if you want and use them to heal your own characters, which is nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's still a pain in the butt. Hey. Genshin also recently announced the new characters coming to the 2.3 expansion. It seems like what they've started to do is once the like patch drops, they announce the new characters for the next, as a way to like get ahead of the people who are betaing the next patch and like are gonna leak it, because that's what happens. And they announced that there's gonna be 2 new Geo characters. A big demon man who wields a claymore club, and Goru, the little dog boy, who's gonna be a Geo. They're both Geo characters, but Goru's a Geobow user, and our first Geobow user, and the other guy, the demon boy, is a Geo claymore. So. We're getting someone to replace Noelle on your team not like fully replace Noelle, but if like you have Noelle because she's a Geo Claymore and not because she's a shield person, then like you're going to be able to sub her out for this demon guy. And I'm really, Goru's so cute. Someone released his like idle animations on TikTok, they're not supposed to do that, but whatever. And one of his idle animations, like a butterfly flights by, and he gets really excited about it, and his tail starts to wag. What a good dog! A good dog's Braun. Anyway, I got very excited. I thought he was cute, so I'm probably gonna pull for that. I have 34 pulls saved right now, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm back up I hit my 10,000 after pulling on for Raiden Shogun, and I'm back to, like, just saving for a character that I really like. Toma's coming next with Child, like, we already talked about that, and I'm definitely going to try to pull for Toma, but I'm probably also now going to try to pull for Geo Boy. And since they're both 4-star characters, I have a higher chance of getting them than I do the 5-star characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably won't need pity for them, honestly.
Yeah, I probably won't. I did do 1 10 pull on the current Child banner because Chongyun and Yanfei are 2 of the 4 stars on it. The other one is Ningguang. And I got 1 Ningguang and 1 Chongyun, and I'm like, I wanted Yanfei, but okay.
You can't. There's not really a downside to getting more Ningguang.
Yeah, so I have a C2 Ningguang right now and a C3 or 4 Chongyun now.
Oh god, when is he really online? Is it like C3 or is it C5?
Chongyun?
Yeah.
It's C3.
Yeah.
C3 is where you start to get like your like time reduction stuff. But I have that sword that randomly resets his cooldown for his stuff, so...
God, that one's so good.
It is so good, honestly. I have the same, like, sword, but instead of a claymore, the, like, short sword version on Xingqiu. And it's constant freezes. It's so good.
Young cooldown boys.
They're so good. They're friends.
Like, oh my god, they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates. Oh my god, we're not even there yet. Hang on. Calm down. Whew. So that's the Genshin news. I'm gonna start streaming it again. I'm probably gonna stream it again after we're done here today, honestly, because the current event that's going on to get the, like, guitar thing, it's not really a guitar. I don't know what they're calling it, because I can't do the event right now because I have to finish the Raiden Shogun story before I can participate in the event. So I gotta get online. I gotta stream that Raiden Shogun story so I can do the event. Because I'm not gonna miss out on an instrument and then have to buy it later. Like, not with money, obviously. You can buy it with in-game currency, like in, like, Mora or, like, sigils, but I'm not gonna do that. So I have spent my time, like, unlocking the whole of Inazuma Island. There's a couple domains I haven't been able to, like, access yet. But other than that, like, I have the whole map unlocked, so it's not gonna be difficult to, like, do the Raiden Shogun story. I just have to sit down and do it. But I did promise I was going to do it on stream, so guess I got to do it. Let's see. That's the Genshin news. That's my Genshin news anyway. Other than that, Alex picked up Far Cry 6. I'm not impressed with the villain. I think Pagan Min was just the best villain that they've had. I know a lot of people like the Far Cry 3 villain, but it's not. Pagan Min's just good. He's charismatic in a way that a lot of the other villains haven't been, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun having him, like, come in on your radio and be like, you know what really grinds my gears? That you keep killing all of my army people. And you're just like, why are you listening in on my secret remote channel? And it's like, that's not the question you should be asking. Hello, how are you? Maybe is how we start this conversation. Like,
oh my god.
You should have started it with hello, how are you then? Whatever. Anyway. Alex has done every single side quest in Far Cry 6 so far. He's been kind of putting off the main story so that, like, I can watch with him. So it's like, you know, your typical, like, Far Cry length game, I guess. He's unlocked, like, all the animal companions, and his favorite is the Black Panther, which is a spirit animal. And I say it's a spirit animal in that it is an animal that is also a spirit. And when it kills enemies, they disappear into a pile of embers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, so we're gonna, like, it goes up and it'll, like, sneak up and attack him the way that it does. And it just, like, it pounces on him. And if it kills him, they just, like, float up the whole, like, they essentially, like, poof into a pile of embers and then float up into the sky. So there's no body left behind for people to discover.
I mean, that does sound useful.
It's very useful. Also weird. But, like, in the event that he was showing it, he's like, watch, it's gonna just sneak over there and do it. And it snuck over there and did the thing, and then it was, like, starting to come back, and 2 cars came by, and both of them hit the panther, one after the other, and killed it. So it was like this one car just, boom, right into the panther, and then, like, bounced over the body and drove away. And it's like, and the panther started to get up, and then this other car came out of frame and just, ba-dum. And it's like, go revive your panther, I guess. So, like, the like, physics, or, like, the game rules in the game are still goofy. Like, goofy Far Cry shit still happens, but it's just, it's not stuff that, it's not, like, part of the plot experience that's goofy. It's just, like, the AI is interacting in a weird way. And there it goes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's alright. Pegamin's still my favorite villain. I don't know. He's just good. I don't want to say, like, the other villains aren't compelling or anything, because, like, they are. It's just, they're not my favorite. It's just they could do better, you know? They could try harder. Huh? They could be a little more about the presentation and not just about the, like, murdering, you know?
It's a real shame that, like, they went to the trouble of getting Giancarlo Esposito. he's typecast, but like he walked into it
Right.
into being like excellent villains, and then like he doesn't even stand out with Far Cry.
He is an excellent villain. Like, he is doing a great job being the villain.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not my personal favorite.
Sure.
You know? They did do a lot of, like, really cute things for this one. Like, when your character is driving along in, like, the scene and stuff, like, just hanging out. This character sings along to the radio.
Okay.
Which other characters haven't done previously. Also, the guy and the girl voice lines, they're slightly different. And I don't mean that they're, like, written differently, but they didn't ask the male and female voice actors to make the same acting choice when they say the lines.
Okay.
And so both of the characters come off as more unique and more fleshed out. And this girl character is definitely a hard ass. And it's for us too, it's standing out very, like, starkly compared to the last female that Alex played, which was when he played, he used the girl avatar in Cyberpunk, and she's written like someone who is trying to be a hard ass, where the girl character, the girl avatar in Far Cry is just a hard ass. Like, she's just that cool and that tough, and like, here we are, you know, and she's not like playing at hard ass.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good time. Like, very, very good acting all around. Mwah. Sad it's in a Far Cry game. It's still good.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Not play Far Cry. I mean, honestly, that's what you're gonna do, but you know, I'm not, it is what it is. Also, like, we're gonna discuss this a little bit more in depth, I think, in the news section. But Nintendo has officially announced the price points for the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack.
They sure did. They sure did.
They announced it during and also after the Animal Crossing Direct, which we will be covering later, and like, don't worry, we'll get there. But it's, if you get the family pack and you're doing the expansion, it is going to be $80 a year. If you do it individually, it's going to be, I think, $40. It's like $39.99 for a full year. It feels like a lot.
It's because it is a lot.
Yeah, but like, it feels like a lot for if you're just doing like the GameCube and the Sega stuff. But they're also
GameCube. What's this GameCube business?
No, she meant N64.
N64 and Genesis games. But they are also including the Animal Crossing paid DLC in there. You'll just get it if you have the Family Plus expansion pack. And it feels like they're going to be dropping like, that indicates to me that they're going to be dropping paid DLC options for games in there as part of that section. I don't think it's just going to be Animal Crossing they're doing it with. I can see them doing it with other games in the future. You know, like, I could see them doing, if like Splatoon 3 gets another like Octopass expansion DLC, I could see them adding that as you get it for free if you have the Family Plus set. That's tracking in my brain. And so ultimately, like, if there is enough of that sort of thing in there, it's definitely going to pay for itself. You know?
Yeah,
Because
I mean, I get that.
the Animal Crossing DLC is $25. The Octopass expansion was $25, so that's $50 already for two games I know I'm going to get the expansions for.
Okay, well, I also want to stress that there has been no Splatoon announcement. That this is entirely speculative.
Valid.
Yeah, that's valid. They could drop the Nintendo Fighter Passes in there too, though, for Smash, if they wanted.
There's a lot of things they could do. Yeah.
Like, I hate to be a killjoy on this.
No, you can do it. It's fine.
But I think that what Nintendo is doing with throwing the Animal Crossing stuff in there is like a one-time sweetener. They're rolling this out, and, you know, there's going to be hesitance around this pricing because realistically, the games that you are getting as part of this are, in the case of like some of the older Genesis games, over 30 years old, and the younger N64 games are still like 20 plus years old.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be some natural resistance to this price hike because they are asking for a lot here. A lot. And if they throw the Animal Crossing DLC in there, then like I think that it'll soften the price to some.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, okay, well, you know, like I get the N64 stuff and the Genesis stuff, which feels a little overpriced if that's all it was. But there's also this Animal Crossing thing, so now like I feel better about justifying it to myself.
But also, if you have like a lot of people when the Nintendo Switch Online stuff first announced, they hooked up with their friends essentially to all pitch in for one family member plan, you know? And if all of those people, and this is an assumption also, but it's a pretty good assumption considering it's the case with at least mine and a bunch of my friends like family passes, everybody on that family pass is playing Animal Crossing. So if everyone on that pass is playing Animal Crossing and you go for the Family Pass Plus plan, ultimately you are saving yourselves everyone is saving $25 overall because it's only $10 for all 8 people to chip in.
You know what? I've been wrestling with this for a little bit. I don't actually think Nintendo's asking for that much given the circumstance, given the marketplace and what they're offering and like the alternatives across the market. I actually don't think it's that much. I think it just looks like a lot.
Does it look like a lot because it's Nintendo specifically?
So like, let's say you're like, you don't have a family, right? You know, they all died in an accident. Sorry for you. But like, you want to buy the N64 Genesis expansion to Nintendo Switch Online. You already pay the annual amount, right? Which is, I can't even remember what it is right now. But let's say you're upgrading to the thing and now it's like a $30 price hike on the year as opposed to like what, the $25 it was before. And like in exchange, like, you know, you're still playing with online functionality, but now you're going to get these 10 N64 games, the Genesis games that are also coming with it, and the promise of the additional N64 games that are coming up. And let's say that costs the $50, which I don't think it actually does. But let's say it does. You're getting what, like another actual like classic library of N64 games alone for like what, $2 a pop plus like the Genesis games. And like even if you don't own Animal Crossing, like I guess if you ever do, you already have the DLC. I actually don't think that's a lot of money for what you're getting in that particular scenario. I think it looks like a lot because like it's like now I'm paying an extra $50 right now for the year and like you need that money right now. But like as far as like value proposition, I don't think you're actually being asked for a lot.
This is one of those situations where I would love to hear from people that listen to this podcast because to my ears, which might be old and resistant to fun,
I don't think you're resistant to fun, Brian.
Neither does he. It's fine. Go on.
Oh, wait, Rocky, are you accusing me of being disingenuous?
Yes, but continue.
He thinks you're doing it for a bit more than like you're being actually disingenuous.
I think this sounds like a lot. I think that
I agree. I think it does sound like a lot. I just don't think it actually is.
I feel like this podcast has a history of Nintendo apologia. I think this podcast has a history of pretty closely like running PR for Nintendo. Like, I don't know, Nintendo is actually selling a turd to me right now, but they pulled a stinky pickle on the package, so it must be a food group. You know, like it says pickle right there on the box. And I just, it seems like that there's some real stretching going on here to talk about a value proposition. Like, okay, well, if there's 8 people are on a train leaving Cleveland and they all buy the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack.
Brian, if you don't want to buy the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, that's fine. I am going to buy it because I want the Animal Crossing DLC, and that's one less trip I have to make to the store myself. I also know that everybody on my family plan is actively playing Animal Crossing, and so they also won't have to pay for the DLC in order to get the DLC. Instead, they can send me $10 if they want. If you don't want to buy the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack and you don't want to have to pay for your Nintendo Switch Online anymore, you can just jump on my family plan since they're expanding it from 6 to 8 people. So I can add you onto my plan now. And then you don't have to pay for it either. But you'll still get your Genesis games. And whatever else comes that way.
I'm just over here saying a thing. That's all I'm doing.
I know, but like...
That's all I'm doing.
I understand that, but like you're also
I'm literally just over here saying a thing.
You are one person on managing one family plan because you have multiple Switches. And I'm one person managing 6 different people's individual experiences. Like...
Gosh, that sounds like a lot of work, Tegan.
It's what being part of a family is, Brian. Do you want to join my family?
From what I understand, Ohana means family. That's from what I understand.
Ohana means family, and family means
Ohana does not mean charging fucking $800 for Genesis games.
It's not
$800! It's not real! That's not a thing that's happening.
They are fucking coming for people's wallets with these Genesis games.
For a whole year, like...
Are they charging? Tegan, are they charging $10? 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 Yes or no? It's a binary answer.
Okay, Brian.
Is it $10? Tegan, is it $10?
No, it's okay. I'm not going to play that game, Brian.
Well, no, it's not a game.
No, I'm not playing. I'm not playing anymore.
Let's see here. Nintendo Online Expansione.
You can literally click the link that I put in the show doc.
See here.
It is $80 for a Family Plus plan.
That sure looks like not $10. But that's okay, because if 8 people are on a train leaving from Cleveland, and each one of them ordered the Reuben on Marble Rye from the dinner car.
No, Brian, it is not like that. It is more like 8 people are going on a trip, and they're all pitching in for the hotel. It's not 8 people jumping on a plane. It is 8 people going into a hotel.
Okay.
It's a different kind of cost breakdown than what you are saying it is.
I'm going to get back to the thing I was saying earlier, which is listeners to this podcast, I need to know if I am in fact joyless. Please let me know if my perspective on this is rooted in a hatred of life. Because, like, I heard this pricing, and, like, I was already expecting them to, like, come for people with the price of these controllers. You know, like, the price of the controllers is already ridiculous. You know, and here's a PSA, people. The Nintendo 64 controller literally hurt people's hands 25 years ago. You do not need to hurt your hands to get that authentic feel. Like, fucking don't. Just, like, if you want to play these games, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. There's a lot of good N64 games. But there is literally no such thing as a good N64 original controller. Those things were nightmares. Nightmares. Like, leave that weird horseshoe crab in the past where it belongs. Like, the prospect of, like, spending $50 to fucking horse fuck my hands just sounds, like, ridiculous. But anyway, I knew they were going to do that because that's what they did with the SNES and NES controllers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That horse fuckery was anticipated. That was, like, it's still horse fuckery, but it was at least anticipated horse fuckery. But, Jesus fucking
So if I was looking at this from one person who was managing multiple Nintendo profiles that all belong to me on one family plan, I would agree with you 100% this is too much money. But I am experiencing it as one person who is actively pitching in with 8 other people to actively lower the cost so we can all enjoy a thing. And so for $10, I get $25 of DLC. So I'm saving myself $15. But if you are an individual person managing a family plan because you have multiple, like, Nintendo accounts or Nintendo Switches, I agree it's too much money. But if you have multiple people all sharing the cost of the family plan, it's reasonable.
I think that this is one of those things where we are going to need to agree to disagree.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
But listeners, vote now on your phones. Let me know if I'm unreasonable and stupid, because I think that the idea of tiered online service where the bullet points of additional service are you can add 2 more people to a family plan, you get these really old games, and we throw in this one piece of DLC is pretty fucking bare bones. Especially when I'm over here just downloading whatever the fuck I want with Xbox Game Pass. Where their bullet point is Xbox Game Pass, just download whatever the fuck you want, you know? Especially when I look at the pricing structure, you know?
No, that's fair. I'm not disagreeing with you that, like, Xbox clearly has the better situation.
I just feel like with Xbox Game Pass, we don't have to do any kind of weird math. Be like, okay, well, if you have 4 friends and you're having them over and you have tea.
There isn't any weird math. You are making the math way more complicated than it needs to be. If you all agreed to share the cost of a family plan, you already know what you're putting in.
I should not need to make friends to enjoy your product.
So, Brian, really what's going on here is you are admitting out loud with your chest that the reason you are upset about the pricing is because you have no friends?
No.
That's what you're upset about?
No,
Brian, you don't have friends?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just basically saying that your fucking bullet point for why this is a value requires...
It literally works the same way as con hotels. Like, this is the entire way I've budgeted going to a convention my entire life. It makes no difference to me. Like, I can't afford a fucking hotel room on my own, but stick 6 of my friends in there, and yes, some of us have to sleep on the floor, but who gives a shit?
Okay.
And there are plenty of times I've gone to... Let me tell you about when I go to conventions, right?
Oh, no. Okay, we're trying
I go and I sprawl out on the bed all myself.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's just me and the missus, and it's just like, yeah, we're going to a convention. We're going to a fucking convention. I'm not running a youth hostel up in there.
Right.
And I have a good time. I have
a great time running my youth hostel. It's fine.
Okay, and what I'm saying is that the convention is the value proposition, and the convention makes it worth it to buy those passes to go to the convention and pay for the fucking hotel.
Okay,
I'm not like, well, you know,
the convention is not the value proposition. Hanging out with my friends is the value proposition.
Okay. All right. And so why don't you just get together with your friends and I'll take $10 and go buy a bunch of glue to huff and you hang out with your Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you do that.
There you go.
Have fun.
There you go. There you go. Vote now on your phones.
Yeah, God. Okay, can we move on?
Rocky hated that.
I knew it was going to happen a week ago, and I wish it was 10 minutes shorter, but whatever. Here we are.
I mean, you can cut 10 minutes out of there, I'm sure.
No, he can't.
Yeah, I know I can't. I'm legally bound. Jesus Christ. Speaking of people who are legally bound, the Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker embargo has officially dropped. There was a media tour a few months ago. A few key content creators got to fuck around with a build of the game, and now they are allowed to talk about it. We have hands-ons with the various classes, including the new classes of Reaper and Sage. They had access to a single dungeon that was both playable with like a full party or with the AI-controlled trusts. And I'm not going to go into in-depth about that because we don't have time. I'm going to give you a couple big things, just overarching observations of what you can expect from Endwalker based on what's been shown from the media tour. All the classes have a lot more personal and raid-wide mitigation and healing tools, and there is a much larger focus on continued movement and the ability to continue dealing damage without breaking combos. And so what that tells me is that this game is going to involve a lot more movement, a lot more guaranteed damage, and a lot more things that are going to try to pull your attention away from the specific thing that you're fighting. Things are going to get busier. It's going to happen. Don't be afraid. Just be prepared. There are a couple of classes that don't seem to have gotten a lot of new things in terms of tools, like Dark Knight and Scholar specifically didn't get a lot of flashy new toys to play around with. And it looks like most of the classes in their tier, tanks and healers respectively, are gaining tools to copy a bit more of their functionality, but it looks like they're going to be affected more clearly by global changes to the game. For example, healers are going to have a 1.5 second GCD, almost like classic World of Warcraft. And tanks are getting a generalized increase of the effectiveness of their mitigation. So it looks like while these classes aren't going to get a lot of new toys, people who are familiar with the classes are probably going to be able to hit the ground running going into Endwalker, as opposed to everyone else who are going to have to relearn how their class works in the new context and with their new skills. And I actually think that both of them are going to be pretty strong, like, progression classes for those reasons, as well as since their tools are actually getting stronger, even if they're not going to be super different, they are going to allow people to interact more with the mechanics that are going to be presented. And one of the weird things is that, like, Scholar's, like, level 90 ability is, like, a big power buff, but it's also a movement speed increase. So, like, you can just make the entire party run faster. And I think that means there's going to be straight up movement checks in, like, the later stages of Endwalker's endgame. That, like, they're just going to be things that everyone just needs to move or we're going to die. And that's kind of wild to me because it hasn't happened before. And it may actually turn the rest of the game into a bitch and a half, but I'm still kind of fucking down. I'm very excited to see what's coming next. We also got shown the new battle music for the boss themes. It's pretty good. It's not as good as Shadowbringers, and some people might actually like Stormblood a bit better, but it's good, you know. It's still like Japanese edgy butt rock, so, you know, go off. And we've gotten like full like 3D images of the level 90 gear for each class, and all of it looks really good. There are about 34 days until Endwalker Early Access opens on November 19th. The game will release on the 23rd if you didn't get Early Access or pre-ordered in time. And I will have a fuller report then, but that's what's going on with that. I'm still streaming, still playing Tales of Arise, and I don't have a lot to report. It's still a lot of the same. I think I'm going to know more in the coming weeks. But one thing that I did do this weekend is that I streamed a little bit because I started playing Dodgeball Academia as a whim, and I'm like, people have to see this. This is insane.
It's so good.
Like, fucking Dodgeball Academia, for people who don't remember, is a very colorful sports RPG that melds influences from the Camelot sports RPG games, Pokemon, and Paper Mario in its aesthetics. The writing is very much, yeah, we've seen anime and we're here to make fun of it, but not in a Big Bang Theory way, more like, hey, like, we're punching up kind of way.
We know exactly what anime is about, and we think it's funny.
Yes, exactly. And I was wandering through a forest, looking for a remote control so I could stop the robo-apocalypse. And I ran into one of the aforementioned robots in the forest, and I had to play a dodgeball match against it in the tall grass. So I had to sift through the tall grass to find a dodgeball and throw it at this thing, mostly obscuring my character. That was really goofy, and that's when I decided I had to start streaming it. I also found out that there was a lab that's developing elemental dodgeballs.
What?
Yeah, elemental dodgeballs. It's big bullshit, Brian.
Yeah! The nerd that created the robots and subsequently lost the remote, which now limits his ability to control them, apparently locked his spare remote in the lab, which he's currently banned from because he caused the robo-apocalypse, and you need his password to open it. And we definitely offered to just let him walk in and open it with his password, but he felt like he needed to tell us that his password was Professor Cat, who's one of the professors at the school, because he has a crush on them. And and so, like, we embarrassed him a little bit about that. And then, we later stopped the robo-apocalypse, then we moved on to chapter 4, which was basically the demo chapter, where you're lured onto the roof of the school because someone has sent a secret admirer letter to the protagonist, Otto. Also, Otto, who's not actually supposed to be at the dodgeball school, he's actually supposed to be at Refereeton, where he's supposed to continue the family legacy of being a dodgeball referee and not a player. And his father actually hacks into a robot so that he can talk to his son and berate him about why he's wasting his time at this dodgeball school. So that's going on. It's great. Dodgeball Academia is a lot. Like, I had to stop after 2 hours because I was basically voice acting the whole thing, and it required a lot of energy. But, Dodgeball Academia is sick.
But it was great. It was good energy.
Yeah. Thanks.
You shouldn't have stopped.
Oh my god, I needed to take a break. I'm not gonna play Dark Souls for 3 hours next time. I'm just gonna take like a 5-minute break and then go back into Dodgeball Academia.
Yeah, it sounds like the way to do it, honestly.
Okay, and that's the fun stuff, so then I have to get into this noise. So there's a point of contention about a perspective article that was published in the Washington Post this past week that argues that the video game review process is broken, and it's bad for just about everyone involved except for, publishers. The article argues that the time crunch that video games are presented to reviewers and the embargo that they have, in addition to the time constraint, or the pressure, rather, to produce content in line with the game's release so that reviewers can get clicks, which ultimately survive their livelihood, is actually detrimental to the act of games criticism and is unsustainable for reviewers, but also produces subpar work, especially with games with a certain level of complexity. And so I wanted to open the floor to talk a little bit about the video game review process in its current form and the kinds of things that have to change to make it more sustainable in the long term.
I feel like this is a tambourine that I have banged on the show before.
Sure, yeah. That means you're prepared for the subject matter.
I am inclined to agree with the general conceit here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for the most part, video game criticism is broken. And that right now, it's hyper-contextualized around the notion of value as an idea, but that also, in addition to being hyper-contextualized around the idea of value, that also major AAA publishers have also defined value. They're here, video games are value. Now we'll tell you what value is. And I kind of feel in the last 12 months, we started to see these hyper acute reactions to people just fully drinking the Kool-Aid regarding the way quality should be measured for video games. There was a tweet in the last week where someone was bagging on footage of God of War Ragnarok because they did not think that Kratos' axe was causing adequately realistically modeled damage to trees.
Oh yeah, that guy just needs to touch grass though.
Yeah.
But the problem, Rocky, is that this is the culture which has been created by AAA publishing. That when AAA publishers hang their hat for decade after decade after decade on these wildly escalating and unsustainable budgets for games, right? When we start to hear stuff about $200 million video games, $300 million video games, there's been the reports coming out of Sony that Jim Ryan is actually using the phrase, and not even as a joke, that Sony needs to start producing, quote, quadruple A games, and that Sony needs to produce fewer video games, and that the budgets need to be bigger, and that games aren't worth Sony's time unless the games are, again, billion-dollar properties. Less than a month ago, there were a bunch of people flipping out over some footage coming out of the Halo Infinite beta, where somebody was standing in front of what appears to be a vegetable sale display, where there's a stack of tomatoes and lettuce, and the player is shooting at the tomato and lettuce, and the tomato and lettuce just disappear when shot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's literally standing in front of it and getting as close as possible to each individual head of lettuce and each individual tomato when shooting them. And he's please look at how Halo Infinite sucks. And I think about how people were wowed about the level design for the Silent Cartographer when it came out 20 years ago. holy shit, Halo is 20 years old. And how, like, that doesn't seem to necessarily be, like, the way the prism that, like, video game criticism exists through anymore. That, like, now it's all about, like, the grandeur of set pieces and turning games into these, like, big dollar interactive movies where what we're supposed to be impressed by is how adequately, like, this puddle of water on the street that Nathan Drake is running by, like, refracts light while having somebody run through it. Things like that. That's changed the way that people write about video games.
Sure.
And in addition to that, like, it also seems that, like, video games now seem to, like, despite, like, so many outlets continuing to use 10-point scales, you'll only ever really see outlets using 4 numbers on their 10-point scales.
Mm-hmm.
Here, it's like, oh, this is a 10-point scale, but we rate every game 7 through 10. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. So now, like, 1 through 6 are the forbidden numbers? Like, what's going on here? And when you start to, like, scratch into that and, like, find out why outlets don't rate games lower, and they're like, oh, well, like, we only go that low in, like, drastic situations. Like, drastic? So, like, if you're telling me that, like, every game is, like, at least at the 70th percentile of quality, like, that seems a little wild, because, like, if games are all being, like, weighed against each other and we're, like, looking at the quality of games and, like, what distinguishes a game, what makes a game good, and, like, sophisticated writing which, like, punches into, like, what is a game about, and, like, are the mechanics trying to say anything about the material? Is it really possible because everybody needs to get their review out as quickly as possible because they're competing against, like, influencers who are going to be like, hey, everybody, ring that bell to get notified of new videos, and traditional games outlets are absolutely dying. And so, like, they can't afford to, like, lean back and, like, think about a game. And I know that we've mentioned this game before on the podcast, but, like, can you imagine the shape that, like, current games media is in trying to navigate reviews of Spec Ops The Line? Where, like, Spec Ops The Line is, like, very intentionally using stuff like the way gameplay works and the way, like, even loading screen works to talk about the way players interact with media. Nobody would have the time to dig into that,
right?
In this arms race. So, like, I think that this piece is, like, very much spot on. That it seems like if you really want good games writing now, you have to really, really hunt for it. You have to really, really beat the bushes for it, because games media writing, games reviewing writing, isn't really servicing people who want to know more about games. It's only approaching the discussion of games from, like, the position of, like, value proposition. And the way it talks about value is as if, like, food is sold by the pound and therefore Golden Corral is the best restaurant. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
I think there's a lot. Go ahead.
One of the things that is touched on a little bit on the article is that the primary consumer of, like, video games aren't people like us, really. They're people who buy about 2 or 3 games a year, and they spend their year playing through them. And so those people, I could see them valuing large, expansive worlds with endless depth and things to explore with, like, incredibly high fidelity and interactability with every individual piece, because they're going to be spending a lot of their year there. I think it's a lot more, instead of buying, like, a movie ticket or even, like, you know, a week vacation, they're buying, like, a timeshare, you know? Or, like, they're buying, like, a car. It's something that's, like, a continuous, like, interactable piece of their lives.
Right.
And so I get stuff like that, like why reviews will focus on those things, because that's the silent majority of video game fans, right? Like, these people aren't fighting about the game of the week on Twitter, or, like, you know, even picking fights about, like, patch notes for, like, their latest game. They're buying their one game, or their 2 or 3 games. They'll buy one game a season or a quarter, and then they'll sit at home, and then they'll play it over the next 3 to 5 months, and then once they're done with that, they'll go see what else is hot. They'll Google new hot video game, and whatever review comes up, if it has a 9 or something, that's probably a good use of their money, and they'll buy that. And none of that is meant to like begrudge those people who play video games. I personally love them. I think it's great that they're happy playing a couple of games a year. I wish I could be more like them. But I want to know if the way that like releases work, specifically the way that releases and embargoes work, and the need for publications to pick up clicks as a game releases,
right,
it mirrors a lot of the things that I've complained about with the video game movie adaptation pipeline that used to exist. All the things that made that bad is now affecting games criticism almost to its core at this point. There are some people that have like shifted to newsletters, some with like paid subscription models. There are people who simply are just not going to fight for those viewers who are randomly Googling a game, and they're just going to write on their own schedule, and it doesn't matter if it comes out 3 months after, because they're going to be really doing the in-depth work of taking apart the work as a whole. But I'm not sure if that's sustainable for most publications, or even for the casual consumer to like really find out about what's going on with the game. So I'm wondering if there are things that we can encourage or, you know, act in favor of to improve the surfacing of good criticism.
So, like, things that I'm interested in here.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about, like, the average video game customer being somebody who buys 2 to 3 games a year, generally closer to 2 than 3, but
Sure.
2 to 3 games a year. So people who have what they call a very low attachment rate.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, those low attachment rate buyers are folks who have what we'll call, like, one recurring annualized purchase.
Sure.
They buy 2 games a year, and one of those 2 games is...
Your CODs, your FIFAs, whatever.
Right. Their pipeline of new game, which is non-annualized purchases, is generally like a game a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means that your major AAA publishers are now like looking at those customers, because those customers are the primary people who they're courting. And what they're talking about is like, okay, if Joe average customer is only going to buy 2 games a year, and we're making sure that like COD or soccer or football or whatever have these like weaponized hooks for the customer to spend more money once they've bought the game in them, then in so many cases it becomes AAA publishers saying like, okay, how do we create more like weaponized hooks for spending in the game? Like if somebody's one other game is going to be with us, then are we going to continue to get money out of them from this one game after they've bought us? There are certainly publishers who do not center that in the experience. I think it's fair to say that like most Nintendo games and most Sony games and even like most Microsoft first party games are not centering the idea of additional spending in most of the games that they publish. There might be like a DLC or an expansion, like, you know, but it's not like, say, like a Ubisoft game where they're like, hey, did you pick up the new Assassin's Creed game? Are you finding tired, Dad, that you don't have enough time to play Assassin's Creed? Well, just buy this experience doubler. Just buy this thing that makes it easier to climb the towers, you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that something that might be helpful, like in games writing that is targeting those customers, is letting those folks know, is the $60 or $70 that you're spending on this game actually going to get you something that resembles like a complete experience? Because if we're talking about games writing from a position of value, that's certainly valid. I don't think it's very helpful from like a position of like artistic criticism.
Sure.
But I think from a position of consumer protection, it's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Like letting folks know, like, okay, if you spent $60 here, can you reasonably expect that $60 to represent like a complete experience? You know, like I know that like when I bought Hitman 3 for $60, even though there was expansion pack called Seven Deadly Sins I could spend money on, that the $60 I spent on Hitman 3 represented a complete game. But there are games where like they are designed to have these treadmills in them or these trigger points to make like players dissatisfied or make players frustrated, to say like, okay, well we already got you to bring the game home and you're not in a position financially to be frustrated and just go buy another game. So like, which is easier for you to like give up and play your annualized game, or just like sigh sadly and give us $15, you know?
Well, yeah, but like, what does that look like? Because I mean, Kotaku, Polygon, even like Bloomberg or Forbes aren't going to do that. That's going to endanger their embargo, or not their embargo, but like their priority access to games so that they can write stuff during their
And
embargo.
there are definitely games outlets out there which don't give a fuck about that anymore. And like, I prize when outlets writing prioritizes like, I guess, like the health, happiness, and safety of their readers above their relationships with publishers. A good example of that is Bethesda will no longer send Kotaku any games.
Right.
When Kotaku writes about Bethesda, they have to go buy a copy at a store after release and then write about it.
Right.
And that is definitely reflective of a part of the way that Kotaku was writing about Fallout 76. Todd Howard did not appreciate the things they were saying about Fallout 76. I think from a position of criticism, that rush to be first also means that, like, for people like us who are not the 2 to 3 games people a year, like, heck, as much as, like, even Tegan, like, likes to talk a good game about, like, oh, okay, I don't play a lot of games, Tegan actually does consume a lot of games. That we're not definitely served well by like these things which like try to rush to print. Like a lot of times, like the reviews I find the most valuable are for games that didn't get a lot of media attention, and so like there wasn't like some kind of like rush to be first because no one cared. There was more room for like an outlet to be like, okay, we didn't need to be first here, so we can come back later with an article about this game because we want to, and so we can like spend more time on it. Like there was a game that recently came out, and here's where I'm gonna I don't want to like fuck this up. XUANYUAN. What is that? Wan Yuan?
Wait, what was the first letter? You said X?
Yeah, XUAN and then YUAN.
It's Zhuan Yuan.
Zhuan Yuan?
Yeah.
Okay. Zhuan Yuan Sword 7 just recently came out, and major outlets didn't really give a shit, right? Like, there was nobody tripping all over themselves to have, like, reviews the day that game came out. But what that meant was that with a little breathing room afterwards, Kotaku was able to like put out like a review like over a full week after release and talk about how this game will give people who enjoyed like say The Witcher 3, it will scratch that itch, but like what it does is also it's more focused, and like the land masses are smaller, so it's like if you just want to wander around and find stuff you can, but also this game's not going to take you like 200 hours. And I was like, oh, whoa, like exploring, but a smaller area, more focused, experienced, but also capturing the sense of discovery. That sounds really interesting. Like, it's so like the prospect of like finding out a game that like offers that, but is asking for like 35 hours of mine versus 200 hours of mine is really, really attractive. And so like I'm more interested when outlets have an ability to like spend time with something and like really figure out who is this game for, right? Because like if you're having to put out a review on the first day after a game is released, then you're writing from a position that this game is for everybody, and that's just not true, you know? And if that's not your position, then the position you're writing from is this idea like, oh, okay, well, this game is just for everybody who's played this game before, and you're only writing for those people. You know, like you're like saying like, okay, this series is just for everybody who's played it before. And that was part of what kept me away from Hitman for years, is that like whenever new Hitman games would come out, like I would read like reviews and stuff because they were all couched from a position of like, hey, Hitman players, here's what's going on in this Hitman game. And I'm like, well, I'm not one of those people. Why do I want to know about it? I like the kind of writing which seems to take like sometimes weeks or even months after the release of a game in order to take shape. It's funny, like a lot of the writing which has happened now about Dark Souls, like weeks and months and years after the release of it, is the stuff I care about. I don't know. I've been talking too much here.
Who said that?
I did.
Okay.
Brian always thinks he's talking too much when he's making very good points.
Yeah, it's fine. He doesn't believe that we're just going to give him space sometimes.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, like, I know I tooted his horn, I think a month ago or so, or maybe a little bit longer than a month ago on this podcast, but Jacob Geller does like absolutely wonderful stuff in the space of like games criticism. And like a lot of times, like the way he is approaching discussing games is he'll know what the idea is that he wants to talk about. And after he knows the idea that he wants to talk about, then he'll find the games that like fit within the space that fit that concept that he's already discussed. Like he did a video essay about 6 months ago called Save the Best for Last. And in that video essay, he talked about how like conventional modern logic, because of like the drop off in the way people play games and the fact that like most folks don't play games to completion anymore, mean that like modern logic dictates that like game developers put like the biggest set piece, the most lavish design, the hottest thing in the game first, because it's literally the first thing that the player will see. And that is when your new player is still as your advertiser to potential other players. And so like games put their biggest set pieces up front, or their most interesting gameplay moment up front. And how it's like very, very rare for developers to break from that, because like it's an economic consideration. It's a financial consideration. And so to like not put your most interesting thing first in the game is like now you're deliberately not showing your best self to your potential customers. You're making them get through the game to get to the thing. And so like him doing like a video essay about games that save the best thing for last was interesting to me. He does a lot of that, like, like working from a position of, exploring a concept and then talking about like the games that like fit within the concept that he wants to discuss. Talking about like why Dead Space 2 still feels fresh and new because of like the design logic it uses. Why does like this 10-year-old Dead Space game still pop and stand up and not feel dated at all? Like that's interesting to me. But like that's not the kind of shit you can put out the day a game comes out.
No.
Yeah. As usual, I have talked for 87 years.
All right, well, at the very least, we can talk about news, but you're probably up next, if I remember correctly.
Yep. You get to talk for 87 more years.
Okay. Breaking news from the world of Intellivision Amico.
Yay! What happened with Intellivision Amico? Hang on, let me get my popcorn. Hang on. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. And this was something I had an opportunity to mention in the Twitter chat, but this is the first time our listeners have heard this. So recently, Intellivision had an event at a place in Utah called Thanksgiving Point, a mini golf course. For those of you keeping track at home, this is the second consecutive Intellivision Amico event held at a mini golf course. So they had this event at Thanksgiving Point in Utah, and it took about a week for folks to figure out that about half of the people featured in the testimonials from the Thanksgiving Point video are paid actors.
Sick. Oh, wait. Didn't the Amico come out like a week ago?
No, Rocky. No.
Ah, what? I thought it was 10/10.
No, they. Oh my god! All right, so the other hot thing going on in the world of Amico.
I can't believe there's hot stuff going on in this world.
Yeah, this is a hot stinky pickle. So on 1010, when their thing was supposed to come out a year late, because remember, it was originally supposed to come out 10-10-20, and then Tommy Tallarico pushed it back to spring of 2021, and then they're like, hey, we think we would do better if we pushed it out to 1 year after our original release date, so it'll be 10-10-21. And then they, like, literally on midnight on a Friday announced that they weren't going to make the 10-10-20-21.
Damn.
Trying to, yeah, like,
right.
And so, but that's all old news. So they're like, hey, 1010 is a special date for us here at Intellivision, and we want to make sure that we do something special on 1010 to celebrate Intellivision. And I'm all like, oh, yeah? What's that? What you gonna do, Tommy Tallarico? And they let us know. They let us know what that special thing is. And that special thing is you can now buy limited edition boxed bundles of their, quote, physical products.
What? What does that mean?
I can explain to you, and I'm here to do just that.
Hang on. Limited edition box bundles, and not the game console thing. Just other stuff.
The console is in fact not out.
Oh my god.
That's right, everyone. The console is not out. I'm gonna just throw this here. Link into the chitty chit chat. There we go. There you go. Look at that there. Limited collector's boxed edition. And some things which are super fun here. Because,
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Okay, so this is a bundle for 8 video games for a console that does not exist. Do I have that right?
Mostly Rocky.
Okay.
But let me tell you how you're wrong, because that'll make your head explode even further.
Sure, let's do it.
When you add this thing to cart, it gives you this thing. In fact, does it say just in the description here right now? Each boxed edition comes with a 3D lenticular card, premium metal coin, and RFID game card that will automatically activate once each title is available at our game shop. Quantities are limited. Okay, so it doesn't say here in this description. Do I get it once I get the add to cart? You basically have to acknowledge in the terms of service that you're acknowledging that these boxes are not yet games and that you are just getting boxes.
So you're getting 8 boxes for games / a console that don't currently exist. Okay.
This is so stupid. This is the dumbest. This is the dumbest thing. The packaging is very nice. I will say the packaging is great.
Yeah, it's some decent
I'm
packaging.
mad that the packaging is so good. But what the fuck?
I am honestly infuriated at how good the box art is.
The box art is so good. I'm mad about it, but $150.
Look at honestly, look at all this beautiful box art. Fuck these people.
Whoever designed the box art, have I told you about our game Hammelbang?
No, wait, but hold up. But Mad Men Diamond DX edition? No, wait, there was another thing. It was Mad Men what, Brian?
Going ham, but with 2 M's.
Yeah, that was Mad Men Going Ham Diamond DX edition. Oh, shit.
$150
For box art. I mean, it's cool. It's good box art.
Hello, everyone who is going to buy this Intellivision Amico box art, might I interest you in the Nintendo Family Plan Plus online experience, where you actually get things.
I am here to tell you that is a better deal than this. I am here to tell you that.
Oh, God. What the hell?
We have found a new measure for biggest, shittiest idea. Like,
selling box art for games for a console that doesn't exist.
This is the new measure for just like, and obviously on this show we talk a lot about like absolute moral failures,
Yeah, we do.
ethical awfulness, but just as far as like retail product offered for sale, which is terrible, this kind of takes the entire enchilada. Like it just does. And so I guess our new measure is, are you worse than the Amico box set of nothing? Just like, and it gets worse, everybody. I'm here to tell you this gets...
Hang on. We were poking fun at Japanese people who were collecting Splatoon boxes, like box art.
That happened like 3 years ago, yeah.
When Splatoon first came out and like the Splatoon Switches were being sold and also like the Splatoon box art was being sold separately if you just wanted the box art. But
that was still like $10.
The box art was being sold for like $10. This is box art for $150.
But don't worry, Tegan. When and if the Amico comes out, you'll be able to use the RFID card inside of each box to, get copies of each of these games.
Yeah, with RFID forgeries, like, you'll definitely make that money back.
Yeah. But, so here's how this gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to also deactivate your copies on the Intellivision Marketplace and then resell your fucking box arts, You know how you're able to do that? Because each copy is unique.
On the blockchain?
On the blockchain, right?
Oh my god, are you kidding?
I knew it! Oh, God. Somehow we were going to get to NFTs. I didn't know how. I wasn't sure. But I knew we were going to get that.
Have you seen the thing where people are like, oh, why hasn't anyone thought of physical NFTs? Good luck trying to right-click and save that. Art? Do you mean collecting art? Like actual art?
Tommy Tallarico is actually a visionary, Tegan. A genius who created the simultaneous digital physical NFT.
A digital physical NFT!
An analog NFT, if you will, Tegan. Oh, man. God, sometimes I really do love podcasting. I think it's really
Jesus
great.
Christ.
Honestly,
podcasting, mwah.
Incredible.
It's the best baked banana bread.
I'm still mad at how good these boxes look.
Yeah.
Imagine if these people were fucking reprehensible shitheads. Like, I would enjoy lining these boxes up if this wasn't terrible.
If it wasn't terrible, yeah. But you know what it
Yeah.
is? That's nice. That's the monkey's paw, Brian.
Here's the problem. Say you're a video game historian.
Mm-hmm.
Do you buy these boxes for the museum? Do you buy these boxes for the museum?
But you don't use your money on it. You use the museum's money. You use some donors' money on it. Like, that's fine. That's okay.
Oh, you're just shuffling around rich people money, so it doesn't matter because it's fake anyway.
Yeah, see, Tegan gets it.
So,
I would like to be levels of rich enough that I could say, you know what? Buy the Tommy Tallarico stupid fucking boxes for your weird museum. It matters not to me. And then saunter off with like a big champagne cocktail in my hand. Like, for God's sake.
So I would also like to talk about how this could get even dumber, because I am here for that, and I have brought you all of the food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating. This is delicious.
We feasting.
Okay. We have talked on this show also about the other ongoing scam, Wata Games Grading, and how they are...
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's right, Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like for Wata to grade your empty box?
No.
Yes, Tegan, yes.
God damn it.
What do you mean, grade my empty box?
Man, money isn't real.
I'm sorry, explain that. Explain that, please. What do you mean they're going to grade my empty box of non-video game left beef?
There are people who have purchased cases of these things and shipped the cases directly to Wata for grading.
Classic.
God. No!
And if they made any sense, they would just like, what is this? And send it back. But then they think, hold on, what if we say these are triple S plus boxes and then we sell them for 6 figures?
Right.
Like, but no one's going to fall
because,
for that.
Because, like, Wata's already hooked up to the whole, like, Heritage Auction House scam.
Oh my God.
So, like,
physical,
this is, like...
This is new. This is new physical, tangible, intangible NFT.
Yeah.
5-dimensional chess.
Yeah, yes it is.
Would these boxes exist as a potential collector's item if NFTs did not exist?
I think NFTs makes it easier.
Neopets started NFTs and now we are here.
Oh God, that's the domino effect. Neopets at the top, it's like sending empty.
This is what it is. It's Neopets sells specific brushes that you purchase with your Neopoints and egg point things that you can use to paint your special pet, your special digital pet, like a unique creature. And now we have NFT physical digital boxes. What the fuck?
I just kind of wish, I want to go back in time, right, to like 1980. I'm going to get in a DeLorean. I'm going to go back in time to 1980. I'm going to find Steven Tyler of the band Aerosmith, right? And I'll be like, Steven Tyler.
All right.
You're near the beginning of your rise. You know, your band is going to become much, much bigger. Mm-hmm. You know,
excellent.
You're already some famous. You're already some famous here in 1980.
I'm so famous right now.
You know, but you will get more famous, Steven Tyler. But here is something I need for you to do.
Okay.
Do you know your little cousin Tommy?
Oh, God. Fucking damn it.
Yeah, I know Tommy.
I need for you to spend more time with him. Maybe give him a job on the band. You know.
God, have him be part of like the road crew.
It would have been better than what he's doing right now.
Because
I thought so that conversation went a lot better than I thought it was going to do. I thought you were going to say you needed to hire a hitman.
Oh God!
Take out your little cousin now before he absolutely ruins the entire economy and the environment.
Like give him something to do, because if you don't, we're going to be paying this price for decades.
Oh my God! Fuck it up. Jesus Christ.
I sent Rocky a copy of Tommy Tallarico's video review of Paper Mario 1000 Year Door.
Oh yeah, that was actually really funny. I remember that.
Because part of this whole like Intellivision scam that I fucking love is that like it basically requires like Tommy Tallarico to like retcon the entire way he views video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Tommy Tallarico has spent like over 20 years being this like weird try-hard asshole who's just like, games aren't cool if they don't have mega blood guns and titties in them.
Yep.
Fuck all things. And now since he's creating this like weird alt-right Republican conservative fucking grift where he's like, games are for families and only families, and like the ivermectin goes in the controller, you know, like, and so since he's been telling us the ivermectin goes in the controller, like, it's required retconning his history of video games. And I very much enjoyed, like, sending, like, Tommy's weird, try-hard, poser, dickhead review of Paper Mario to, like, Rocky. And I think that you said something like, I hate this, or I hate this so much, or this is the thing I hate the most. Like, you had strong words for it.
Yeah, because, like, Tallarico wants to sit there. I forgot what he reviewed just before Paper Mario, but he decided that Paper Mario was worth, like, a 1.5 out of 10. Like, talking on the street. And, like, just, like, with no understanding of, like, the game at all. I think he said that he played, like, an hour of it and he fell asleep. And it's just, like, you weren't playing Paper Mario, bro. I don't know what the fuck you were playing, but like...
And he shouts like, the graphics don't even move. Like, the graphics
don't even move.
That's what he
said. He said the graphics don't even move! Oh my god. Yeah, man. Oh, god damn it. Tallarico didn't play Paper Mario. I'm 100% convinced. But that's not my problem. Like, this is my problem. He's trying to sell people empty boxes and shit, claiming he's building a system.
Oh, God. Fuck. So, thanks for coming to our totally unannounced in television corner. Here's my call to action. If you listen to this show, I would very much like for you to hit Intellivision's Twitter with a Tommy, why don't you go on Impossible Coin? Tommy, why don't you go on Impossible Coin? and if you want to start using the hashtag Tommy Fears Impossible Coin,
oh my god,
I won't fight it. I did not clear this call to action with my co-host at all.
You really did not, but you know what? Fuck it, I don't care.
Oh my god. Okay, so Brad, are you still talking about California, or am I talking more about NFTs?
I suppose.
You know what? Actually, this is a good segue into NFTs. Let's do NFTs, and then we'll loop back to California.
That sounds good.
All right. So you guys remember Steam? Steam is the platform agnostic PC gaming marketplace. I think they're also trying to sell Switch Pro to people next year. But
I was going to say it's a little less platform agnostic now, isn't it?
Yeah. But they have decided to, take a stand. They draw a line in the sand. They decided, what are we willing to put up today? And they decided it's not NFTs.
Thank fuck.
The weird thing is that Steam tends to not care about anything, ever, to be honest. In fact, they had to have their arms twisted to offer a refund system. And it's not robust in any sense of the word to customers, but Did
you guys hear about that game where you're Hitler's psychologist?
Oh my god.
that game, yeah. That game's real. You can buy that on Steam, but...
Not anymore. I guess that's kind of the point. It basically took, the entire internet taking a shit and being like, are you fucking for real here? And then they're like, oh... we're going to take it down. But there was a good 2 months where you could buy a game where it's you're Hitler's psychologist. How will you cure Hitler?
Yeah.
And I'm with a bullet. Done.
Oh my god.
I'm done.
But again, Steam, completely unprovoked, decided, hey, we're going to start removing NFT games. And they also said that soon they will be banned. They've added language to their onboarding documents, telling prospective developers who wanted to have their games hosted on Steam that they will not be accepting submissions that create NFTs or interact with the blockchain. I don't think this is actually a moral decision for Steam. I think it's just they don't want to play with or be responsible for what goes on with the blockchain, honestly. And on the other end of that, maybe a little short-sighted, Epic has decided, you know what, if your NFT games can't be on Steam, just bring them to Epic Game Store. Which seems, a little unwise. But yeah, that's what's been going on.
So, the thing about Valve's decision, right, is the way Epic tries to position themselves in response to it. It's like Epic actively wants me to give them even less money.
It's so fucking funny.
I don't think Epic's really thinking about it. It's what? Steam said no about that? They're turning away customers? We want those customers. How do we get them? And it's NFTs.
And they're like, okay, NFTs. And in 10 years, they're going to be like, this was a mistake. Actually, 15 minutes. When those fucking ugly lions are on there, they're going to be like, actually, maybe this was a mistake.
I just cannot wait for the ivermectin NFT game to hit the Epic Game Store.
Oh my god. Fuck off. I hate NFTs so much.
Because, Epic will have the co-video games.
You know what? I will see myself out. I will now walk backwards into the sea. That was terrible, and I would like to not be part of this earth anymore. I laugh so I'm kidding.
If I'm going to walk out into the desert until I find the cow skull, and Tegan's going to walk backwards into the sea, Rocky, you still don't have an announced strat for when the world is too much.
Well, here's the thing, is I'm going to have to walk a significant distance to get to the sea. You don't have to walk that far to find a cow skull in the desert, according to American animation. They're just right there. Where's the rest of the body? Where are the other bones?
Where are all the cow bones? Fucking Christ.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz was right.
Oh, God.
Oh.
I think my strat, honestly, would just be to, go into the forests along Appalachia and just vanish. Let the cryptids take me.
Oh no, not the cryptids.
I'm derailing this podcast again. That's the only thing I'm good at. You know that guy who strangled his girlfriend to death?
There are a lot of those, Brian.
Yeah, that's a pretty common trope as far as murderers go. Like,
Okay.
do you mean the one who was like doing the park hopping in the West Coast and then drove back to Florida? That guy.
Does this murder have anything to do with TikTok? I can't remember. Is this a TikTok murder?
I think they were on YouTube.
Yeah, she's an she was an Instagram influencer.
Okay.
But like, also, no, hold on. Okay, I just want to say this one thing about this dude, because this dude deadass went on a cross-country trip with his girlfriend, and then he comes back alone, and then he has nothing to say about why she isn't with him. Come on, guys. Come on now.
Nothing at all.
Why did this go on for a month? Whatever, it's okay.
It's like, fuck, she must still be in the bathroom at the Wawa. At least say that. Like, at least say that. Like...
So, like, I have a therapist. This isn't news. Yeah, given my extensive, I have a therapist. Surprise! And my therapist watched like the last police footage of like police interacting with her and him as they like when they pulled her over, and she's just like, "Now I obviously am not licensed to psychoanalyze someone through a video camera. That's not what I do." But wow, all of the signs are there for an abuse victim. And I'm like, yeah, duh. And then we talked about incompetent police work in murders for like 10 minutes. It was a good time.
Okay, so I guess the whole reason I brought this up was that, like, we have this fucking terrible race going on right now, which is a race between the federal government and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the bounty hunter. Didn't he, like, hand over conclusive evidence to police? They're like,
or so he claims. Like, this is the whole thing. Like, Dog the Bounty Hunter can get out there and say whatever the fuck he wants. Like, this weird, idiot, racist piece of shit who looks like a guy who... Dog the Bounty Hunter's physical appearance looks like a guy who did too many steroids in 1991... blew up, and his WWF run was done by 1993, and he just goes to like conventions signing autographs like, "Hey, brother, like that's his physical appearance. Like that's what Dog the Bounty Hunter looks like. But he's like, "Yeah, I handed the FBI conclusive evidence, brother." And it's like, no, you fucking didn't, you idiot piece of shit. But my favorite fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter versus the FBI thing. You ever just see a thing happen in the real world and say, I want this to be a video game and I want to play it?
Sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter rented a stupid plane, you know, the type that carries the advertising message behind it? Mm-hmm. And he rented that to taunt Brian Laundrie. And he's, like, got the plane, like, doing laps over the area where he believes Brian Laundrie to be. And, like, Brian, I will find you. He's got, like, the Brian, I will find you plane doing laps over the place he claims that Laundrie is. I'm like, you fucking idiot. Like, let's just say for just, like, an example, that, like, Brian Laundrie actually is hiding wherever you think he is, and that's where this plane is doing the laps that you've hired. Nothing says stay inside and keep your head down like the stupid fucking plane with your name in the sky. Like, Dog the Bounty Hunter is bad at everything. He's bad. He's bad at being a person. He's bad at haircuts. He's bad at sunglasses. He's bad at communicating with the government. And he's bad at hiring planes. He's like, Brian, I will find you. Fucking idiot. Like, I want to play that video game. Like, I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's just like Kane and Lynch, but you suck. Like, I just, God, fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter. I will catch Brian Laundrie before the FBI. Fuck yourself.
What if he does, though?
Fuck yourself.
What if he captures him before the FBI?
If he captures him before the FBI, not only does the FBI look fucking stupid, but also... he looks fucking stupid for getting caught by this dude who looks like he came out of an 80s hair commercial. What the fuck?
I think that if Dog the Bounty Hunter catches Brian Laundrie before the fucking Federal Bureau of Investigation, here's what I propose happens. I want Joseph R. Biden to to walk out into the Rose Garden with the fucking Constitution of the United States.
Holding the Constitution, not a copy, like the old thing, the real one.
Yeah,
the one with the map on the back of it.
Yeah.
That's right, okay? Calls up the fucking Library of Congress. It's like, hey, guys, no, this isn't about Nicolas Cage, guys. Just bring it over. And just, like, has him run it over. And he walks out into the Rose Garden holding the Constitution and says, you know what? Maybe founding a system of government predicated upon the assumption that capitalism isn't wholly toxic was a bad idea. How about this? Fuck it. And just tears the Constitution in half.
Oh my god.
And it's like, you know what, y'all? Dog the Bounty Hunter can have them. I'm heading to Arby's. And just, like, leaves. Like,
I'm not convinced that Joe Biden doesn't go to Arby's 3 times a week. I'm not convinced.
Oh, my God. He's got that look about him, doesn't he? Like, he looks like a guy who asked for more horsey sauce, even though he gets, like, fucking 8 packets.
Right. Here's the thing, though. The reason that part isn't news is because literally Trump went to McDonald's every fucking day.
I can't believe Arby's beat McDonald's in real time! Oh, no.
God, and that wouldn't even be news, except for, like, you remember the time that fucking President Clinton literally had the Secret Service jog him to McDonald's? He's like, hey, y'all, I'm out jogging. And he jogged to a McDonald's?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, it's like, enjoy your fucking Egg McMuffin, sir. Oh.
I can't wait for the articles when, if assuming we finally have a female president, of them being like, ooh, the president's fucking Starbucks order. Look how expensive it is. It's fucking $4.50. And it's like a latte.
Yeah.
It's the most boring fucking latte.
It's a latte with a sprinkle of cinnamon.
I'm here to tell you, everyone out there who wants to write that article, the reason that so many people have complicated orders at Starbucks is because the coffee at Starbucks tastes like fucking rewarmed dog's asshole. And, like, the coffee has too much acid in it. It's going to take 3 layers of enamel off of everybody's fucking teeth. And people are like, I desperately need caffeine. I'm about to fall asleep and die. How can I get this caffeine into my body without tasting all of that acid? Which is why you have people doing this weird Jenga and advanced algebra to be like, okay, if I add 1 shot of chai and then, 1 sugar in the raw and like a whole milk, then maybe I can't taste the fucking coffee.
If I get the oat milk and the brown sugar, 2 pumps of the brown sugar, 2 pumps of the pumpkin spice, maybe I can trick myself into thinking this is actually a chai.
Oh my god. Okay.
Right.
Brian, I'm going to do a last call for California because we got to end on Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, you have the EA IFA thing. Sorry, I didn't see this at the bottom.
Okay, I guess we gotta go. Gotta go fast.
Put on your Sonic running shoes. Let's go.
All right, so Activision Blizzard lawsuit has taken a turn. Because keep in mind there are multiple lawsuits. But the particular lawsuit which has taken a turn is the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing lawsuit.
The DeFe.
The DeFe. The Willem DeFe lawsuit. The DeFe, California's DeFe, has filed a complaint regarding the EEOC settlement with Activision Blizzard. Because they say that the settlement between the EEOC and Activision Blizzard will cause additional complexity and challenges to their ongoing lawsuit.
Sure.
Here's the problem, everyone. The lawyers at the DeFe who filed the motion saying that there'd be irreparable harm to the case, anybody want to guess where those folks worked before they worked at the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing?
I'm going to take a long shot. This may not work. I want you to follow me on this, but did they work at Activision Blizzard?
No.
Okay.
Damn. Okay. That was also my guess.
Okay. But what if I told you that they worked at the EEOC?
Spider-Man meme.
And what if I told you that when they worked at the EEOC, they were actively working on the Activision Blizzard case?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, no. Get fucked.
So maybe this is the EEOC, cleaning up their own house. These guys, fuck it. You're not going to let us sue them. We're going to California. And then they do it in California. The EEOC's trying to eat them anyways.
It kind of looks like that now, Rocky.
Fuck. God God damn
fucking
it.
hilarious.
And so, like, this definitely does, like, hit the standard for, like, conflict of interest from, by just about every bar association standard.
I want the lawyers in, like, the Spider-Man suits with the paperwork saying that they worked at both companies, just like,
Honestly, this just feels like another case where fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter needs to fly overhead carrying his sign.
I would like an Ace Attorney style game just about these shenanigans. I think that would be great.
Hey, Ace Attorney, come here.
It's the
Phoenix
20th
Wright, Ace
anniversary.
Attorney.
Get off your ass. Let's do something.
Just watch this case, beat for beat, transfer it, but make it something else. Like,
I want some ridiculous nonsense. I want animals on the stand. I want convoluted.
I want you to
bring back the whale.
I want you to interview someone's goldfish in like that was like in an office tank. I would like that, please.
It was Dual Destinies where like there was a killer whale, right?
Yeah, it was Dual Destinies.
Okay.
I want some sort of evidence that could only be. The only reason it's relevant is because it was like present in one of the Blizzard offices like 15 years ago, but it's been like in a time capsule, and we're just gonna dig it up ourselves.
Sword. The sword that they made?
It would be a sword and shield.
Yeah, I want the sword and shield from the Blizzard studio wall that they moved into storage after they like expanded the World of Warcraft universe. I want that to have like a secret compartment in the back that has a fucking clue. Goddamn.
It has like DNA evidence in it or some shit. Oh my god.
I need for Phoenix Wright to flip Hostile Witness Crash Bandicoot.
I want Tommy Tallarico to take the stage, but give him a name like Donnie Delarico.
And like he talks about Activision Blizzard, but he's really focused on his new system.
Right, exactly. He's actually he's like actively trying to shill his new system the entire time, and they're like, that's not what we're here for.
Oh my god.
Okay, so two lawyers with a conflict of interest, Dog the Bounty Hunter, Crash Bandicoot walk into a bar, right?
Sure.
Jesus
so
Christ.
The lawyers can still be Phoenix and Miles Edgeworth, but they're roommates now. That's why it's a conflict of
But
interest.
they're roommates. And then there's a God, who's our new over the top prosecutor? Whatever, we'll get there. It's fine.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
So
yeah, this is happening. This is dumb. Like
yeah.
I have other news.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This news is more about just like naked capitalism.
Sure.
Which is the other thing that we love covering on the show.
Yeah, we cover it with a bathrobe. No one needs to see it naked.
Yeah, like fucking EA out here hanging brain on us.
Oh god.
So it looks like EA and FIFA may be parting ways.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like it's going to happen for a couple different reasons. One is that like FIFA looks to want to more than double the cost of its licensing fee to EA.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would mean that over the course of a decade, EA would be on the hook for $2.5 billion to FIFA for the cost of a license.
Mm-hmm.
Also, under the proposed revised terms, FIFA wants to tighten up what exactly EA gets as part of that license.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they want them to be able to like name the video game FIFA, but not be able to do anything else with the name FIFA. So like no sponsoring tournaments that would use the name, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently part of this comes from FIFA being like, oh, okay, there's a lot of possibility that has been unlocked for the value of our name. And FIFA apparently also objects to, tell me if this sounds familiar or also objectionable, FIFA doesn't particularly like the FIFA Ultimate Team stuff. FIFA does not like the prospect of people spending like untold amounts of money on blind polls for members of Ultimate Teams.
Mm-hmm.
They want to, under the proposed terms for the new deal, have it be the video game $60-$70 each year, and then there's no horse fuckery for people's money.
Ooh, alright.
And so, like, between the significantly increased price of the license, the significantly reduced scope of what EA could do with the name, and with conditions that say things like no Ultimate Teams, EA is looking at ending the relationship. And so, like, next year's soccer game would just be like EA Football Club.
I mean, it's not going to work, so they shouldn't. They actually should bend the knee here. Because, like, the FIFA license is probably their only advantage over their competitors, to be honest. Like, FIFA is like a soccer simulator, isn't actually special or that great.
Yeah, but then you see what happened with, like, the Konami... Like, because the only other people who really put out a soccer game are Konami, and Konami's soccer game done come out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but, like, they broke it trying to make it a free-to-play game. Like, if they literally put it back next year and EA doesn't have FIFA anymore, they win.
Konami's game, eFootball, now has the unique and terrible distinction of being the most downvoted game in the history of Steam.
Sure. But, like, that changes, like, every year. In, what, fucking 2011, I think, when Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 came out, I think they were one of the most downvoted games on Reddit, because Steam wasn't that big at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they put in the time, and now they're the most successful MMO in the market. You know, those things change.
You ever just, like, look at a screenshot from a video game and say, like, I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to be a Robert Yang video game about hard penises, but, like, I can't prove it?
That is not a familiar sensation for me, actually.
Okay, please look at this screenshot from Konami Pro Evolution Soccer 2022.
Yeah, these mouths are kind of weird.
Please tell me that does not just look like a screenshot from a Robert Yang video game. That's a Cobra Club right there.
Yeah.
You've heard of football clubs, you've heard of Cobra Clubs. That's a Cobra Club. And I say this because there is a very specific aesthetic to Yang's work.
I get what you're saying.
This looks like Yang's work. Anyway, that's my news. What's going on in... I'm doing Will and Scott here. Hey, Mabel Lee Sourpuss, what's going on with Animal Crossing?
It's time.
That doesn't sound safe.
So, Animal Crossing... No, it's fine. I'm gonna be very good. I'm gonna try to be very, very good.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Nintendo did an Animal Crossing Direct earlier this week. They announced that the final free update for the game is going to release on November 5th. This update is fucking stacked. The first thing they announced was, of course, that the Brewster's Coffee Shop is going to be added to the museum. It's going to maintain similar features in that Animal Crossing villagers will come by the coffee shop and NPCs will visit, but also new. With amiibos and amiibo cards, you can invite specific characters to enjoy a cup of coffee, and some of them will bring guests. So, like, if you have the Sable amiibo, she will bring Mabel and Abel, or Mabel and whatever, her sisters. She'll bring both of her sisters, and you can have coffee with all three of them. Very cute. Visiting friends who come to your island will also be able to enjoy a cup of coffee together, all at the same table. It's very cute. And then they announced that Captain's coming back. Captain, for people who don't know, is the Kappa who used to, in the original GameCube version, ferried you to the Game Boy Advance island. There was only one island, and he would serenade you every time he sent you over there. And he'd serenade you on the way back. And then, in later games, he was reduced to, like, driving a bus in between your main town and your town and your city. And then he kind of just vanished from the game, more or less entirely. Well, he's coming back, and he's going to be able to take you on his boat to a variety of islands that are fundamentally different from the ones you can visit for Dodo Airlines. They'll have things like different kinds of plants, seasons, and times of day, so you can experience more stuff at any point without having to time travel. Very exciting. Then they announced that Harv's Photo Island is getting a much-needed upgrade. The upgrade is going to include basically, like, little spots that you can set up as, like, small, like, camper shops for different NPCs. There's the ones that you're kind of expected to expect: Sahara, Leaf, Kix, Red, the ones that, like, visit your town. Now you'll have a more stable way to visit them, which is especially important with Red. And also Katrina, who is a black cat that tells your fortune, will give you a fortune for the day. Harriet's going to introduce some new hairstyles. Harriet is a poodle designer from City Folk. And Tortimer, the mayor from the first game, is there. What will he do? You know. But he's gonna do it. And at this point, I was full. At this point, I said, it's enough slices, Nintendo. In a very kind way, thank you for the food. And then I saw that we were 6 minutes in. I will pause here for any thoughts before I...
Harriet showing up, providing waves, is a huge win for the Black community. That's going to be great. Cap'n coming back is going to give me new tunes to hum when my brain is idle, and I am thankful for that. I really didn't fuck too much with Brewster. I gotta say that. This is the gap in my Animal Crossing experience. I hope he's cool.
He's very cool. He expects you to drink your coffee hot, though.
Yeah.
If you try to cool it down, he will get upset.
I know people like that. No, that's fine. Okay.
Brian, do you have any thoughts, feelings, emotions?
The last time I got deeply involved with Brewster was on my 3DS. That stands to reason. So it's weird because Brewster, for me, always reminds me of that time that my house got burglarized.
Oh, man. That's right.
Because I remember the thing that I loved doing on my 3DS more than anything was going and working at Brewster's. And then it went away.
Aww.
So, like, the loss of my Animal Crossing file on my 3DS and the loss of my original Skyrim file, you know, insurance can get you a great many things, right? They can't get your file back.
No. Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
But fortunately, we now live in a world with things like, in most cases, and I'm looking at you, Animal Crossing, fucking cloud saves.
Yeah.
So if shit went sideways, for a lot of my video games, I could rely on a cloud save. Tegan, did this massive update include any news about cloud saves being added to Animal Crossing?
I think
that people have been asking for.
I thought you already could cloud save your Animal Crossing island.
Not
I know
exactly.
Nintendo has a way to restore them now.
So what it is that, like, the current situation is that Animal Crossing New Horizons is machine locked for the most part. Like, if you have your Switch and you try to access your Animal Crossing file on a different Switch, it normally will not work. But in the event that, say, your home is burglarized and you lose your Switch and you get a new one, you can still load your Animal Crossing file back onto your Switch, but you have to talk to Nintendo first.
So does that answer your question, Brian?
He's asking about new news. That's how it currently works.
Oh, new news. No, there's no new news.
As somebody who has literally had the conversation with Nintendo, I got robbed, please help me with my files. That conversation is as fucking, like, terrible and Nintendo-like as you could possibly imagine. I remember calling them up, asking them for access to my Wii U games, which I had bought online, because remember, Wii U games were linked to your physical console.
Right.
And I was like, hey, Nintendo, I got robbed. My Wii U was stolen. I now have a new Wii U, thanks to my insurance company. I would like to have my digital games back. And they're like, okay, here's the way the conversation went. All right, do you remember what the most recent game was that you bought online? And I told them the most recent game I bought online. They're like, are you sure? And I told them, yes, I was. And they're like, that's not the most recent game you bought. I'm like, what are you talking about? That is literally the most recent game I bought on the internet. And they're like, okay, think hard. And I sat here and I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? And then after sitting on the phone with them for 20 minutes, I was like, are you literally talking about the DLC, which is supposed to make Shin Megami Tensei 4 easier? And they're like, I don't know. Am I? So then I had to go online, find the exact name of the Shin Megami Tensei Making It Easier DLC. And I told them that, and they're like, okay. They're like, well, the problem is that you didn't sound sure. So what they were willing to do was give me credit, but they wouldn't just restore files.
See, what I did when I had my issue was I called him up and I said, hey, my abusive ex has my Nintendo ID tied to his Wii. Can we unhook that remotely, or am I going to have to interact with him? And they said, we can unhook that remotely, and just did it. So maybe practices have changed in the time since.
I was also asked, what time of day did you buy Shovel Knight? That was another part of that conversation.
Yeah, no, I didn't have any of that. Well, I mean, our situations were different, though, because you had a thieving involved, and I did not. So, I just had an annoyance. Anyway.
I'm not here to call abuse an annoyance.
I mean,
but still.
Well, you know.
But you know what solves both of these fucking problems, Tegan?
Cloud saves.
Robust cloud support.
Continue. Tell us more about the little animals and their island.
Okay, so the next thing that they announced was something that nobody except me has ever been asking for, and that is the return of group stretching to the plaza. This was a feature that was only available in April of the GameCube version of the game during Fitness Month, where you would have to wake up at 6 a.m. every day and go into the plaza at 6 a.m. in Animal Crossing and do the little stretches and get a little stamp from Tortimer. And if you did them all, I don't remember what you got, but you got something.
That seems cool. I'm kind of down.
I'm very excited. The stretches in this game can be controlled with the motion controls on the Joy-Cons or with the button controls. And they're all very easy, lightweight office stretches that are done routinely at the beginning of the day in Japan. You know, to help keep you limber. But so I am personally excited about that. The next thing they announced is that they're adding in island ordinances, which are back from New Leaf, where you could do city ordinances for your villages. The ones that they're bringing back are Beautiful Island, Early Bird, Night Owl, and Bell Boom. I know what 3 out of 4 of those do. I never use the Bell Boom ordinance, so I don't know what that one does.
Doesn't it, like, increase, like, the value of, like, bell dig things?
Maybe. I know the Beautiful Island one will keep weeds from growing on your island. Like, at all. Early Bird makes all the villagers wake up earlier, but also your shops close up earlier. Mm-hmm. And Night Owl keeps everything open later. So that way you can adjust your playstyle will now be able to match your actual routine. So you don't have to, like, adjust the clock on your system in order to match what's up. Then they announced additional construction upgrades. You're getting more exterior options for your home. And the storage capacity in your home will be upgraded to 5,000 spots. Then they followed it up with some new Nook Mile redeems. So they first talked about the Chef DIY recipe redeem. They showcased tomatoes, wheat, sugarcane, carrots, and potatoes as gardening options, similar to how the pumpkins currently work. And the ability to cook in a kitchenette. But there's a variety of things you can cook, and then you can eat them! Yay!
Nice.
They announced a pro decorating license, which allows you to use ceiling lights and ceiling decor, and accent walls, so you can have one wall that looks different than the other walls in the home. They then followed up with a pro construction license, which increases the max number of bridges and inclines available in your town from 8 to 10. There's going to be a new fence DIY that contains 9 new fence recipes, and the ability to customize some kinds of fencing. Looks like mostly painting wooden fencing and that sort of thing. There are going to be updates to your camera app that will allow you to change to handheld mode so you can have first-person Animal Crossing view, or tripod mode so that you can take pictures with your animals at eye level instead of from above. The Custom Design Patterns Plus upgrade will make it so that patterns that could only be used for items can now be worn or used as flooring and wallpaper, including custom designs. There's the addition of 4 hairstyles that will be coming, 11 total, 7 of them will be from Harriet, and 4 of them will be available in this redeem. 11 new reactions are going to be added to the game. There's going to be a new Island Life 101 app added to the phone, which will have tips on things you can do around the island. And there's going to be more Nook Mile furniture. And the main example that they showed, like, a bunch of different things, like more of the Ferris wheel kind of stuff for, like, a theme park vibe. But they also showed that you're going to be able to get a storage shed, which allows you to access your home storage from anywhere on the island. And they also announced an ABD, which is essentially an ATM. And then, yeah. Thoughts? Feelings?
I think I don't actually need to have, like, a downtown anymore. I could, like, if I just spread out, like, the ATMs, I could just kind of I could mix in, like, residential and, like, commercial areas. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. It'll be nice. I'm personally excited that you're going to be able to have more bridges and more inclines, because I've tried to change the shape of my island very little, but that also means that everything is kind of spread out and a little difficult to access. So additional bridges and inclines will be nice. And also cooking. Like we already know.
I might actually start a cooking show. Who knows?
Animal Crossing cooking show with me, Wacky Hardy. They announced 12 new KK Slider songs are going to be coming, and you'll be able to enjoy them via the new music box furniture item, which is going to be, so instead of like listening to them on a record player or whatever, you can listen to like little music box versions of them all. Fun, cute. Also, KK Slider had a Vocaloid phase, and I will not shut up about it. And at this point in the show, I was stuffed, full. Couldn't handle another bite. Please stop bringing me plates, Nintendo. And then they said, hey, guess what? Gyroids are back.
Brian, are you excited for the return of gyroids?
Sure.
Gyroids haven't been in the game since the GameCube version. Like, as the little annoying music boings that they are, you know? So I'm very excited. And also, you can customize them. They're paintable so that you can match them to the interior of your home instead of having, like, a home that looks like one thing and a gyroid that looks completely different, which was a constant struggle.
Fucking gyroids.
Yeah! They show up after it rains, or if you find some gyroid fragments, you can plant them and water them, and they will mature into a fully formed gyroid. What the fuck does that mean, Nintendo? How does that work? Nobody knows. Moving on. Nook's Cranny is going to be getting more furniture options. You know, ceiling lights and that sort of thing, but also additional items that they said, quote-unquote, have never been seen before. Like the 4-screen gamer rig they showed. God, I can't wait to announce to the world that I'm a gamer in Animal Crossing. It's great. They announced permanent ladders are going to be available as ladder setup kits so that your friends you and your friends no longer have to carry around the ladder in an item slot, which is going to be great. And then they showed that players are going to be able to navigate narrow spaces, which means you can move your coffee table, like, so that it would be within your character's arm's reach of your fucking goddamn couch and, like, not take up so much room. Oh, I'm so excited. The side scooch is so good. And then they said neighbor invitations are coming back. Neighbors will invite you over to their place, or they'll just pop by your place if you're hanging out in your house.
That's actually nice.
Anybody excited for anything?
I want to see if I can actually make this, if I can spin neighbor invitations and cooking into actually running like a restaurant in my actual house now. Because I definitely set up the space. But like if I can have multiple neighbors just kind of like in the house and they just kind of sit down at tables and they serve them food, that could be cool, I think.
That could be fun.
But we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to run my bed and breakfast Animal Crossing house.
The thing I'm honestly looking forward to the most of the stuff that they announced as the free DLC is literally having retail on Harp's Photo Island, because I have every piece of the Lovely set, except for a goddamn yellow Lovely chair. I have a white Lovely chair, and I have yellow fucking everything else, and I can't get a yellow chair. And I'm gonna be able to take it to retail, and I'm gonna say, hey, paint this bitch yellow. And they're gonna say, yes, ma'am! And then they're gonna paint it yellow! And then I'll have the complete set in a room! Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna look so nice.
I'm happy for you, Teeks.
I'm so excited. And then I was full. I was overstuffed. I was going to burst. Absolutely. Completely. And then they said, but wait, one more thing. We made an entire other game. Do you remember Happy Home Designer? And I said, yes, I remember Happy Home Designer, Nintendo. I loved Happy Home Designer. That was the reason that I bought the new 3DS, was so I could get the Animal Crossing 3DS that had Happy Home Designer on it. Why? And they said, guess what? Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise, where you can design vacation homes for all the little animals who live in your island. They're so cute! You can design the interior of the home and the exteriors of the home. You can, with new abilities, things that you couldn't do in the original game, you'll be able to adjust the width and length of the house to better meet the client's needs. You're going to be able to customize the exterior of the house to match the vibe they want. And then they said, guess what? this room too big? You want to create some little spaces? We're adding in partition walls. And I fucking lost it. And then they said, also, like, you don't like the way that the end of that partition wall is? That's okay, you can accent it with a pillar to hold up the ceiling. And I was like, I can't, what? And then they said, yeah, also, we're adding countertops with 2 different heights, a high height and a low height, so you can fit them under windows and stuff. Great. And then they said, also, you can adjust the interiors of these houses with lighting and soundscapes so that it matches what you're going for. And I was like, oh my god. And then they said, also, if you want to polish your furniture, you can give stuff additional effects. And they showed, like, polishing, like, the flower cart you can build. And, like, butterflies came out of it. That's so cute!
That's pretty wild.
Very cute. And then they said, oh, Animal Crossing, we heard you like fanfiction tropes. So what if we told you they were roommates? 2 different Animal Crossing villagers can share a vacation home. How many people are gonna build Raymond and fucking Marshall a vacation home together? How many people are gonna be like, and they were roommates? Oh my god, I can't wait. There's only one bed.
Oh god.
And then they said, also, this island's kind of empty, and it has a lot of blank buildings. You can design those buildings. Here's how. And there are set buildings that you can design to look like a school or a restaurant. And then villagers will inhabit those buildings and use them as they're designed to be. Which was a thing that you could do in Happy Home Designer, but like this is more fun because everybody's done it better. And then they said, also, you're not working for free. You're going to earn Poke currency, which you can only use on this island. But you can spend it on the island to buy special furniture that's like either really rare in the regular game or is only for this game. And you can take it back to your regular island and use it to decorate your actual house. Like, nice. Also, if you complete a bunch of requests, you can use these abilities on your home island for your house. And then also, if you do enough of them and you get a good score, they give you a good pat on the head, you can redecorate your neighbors' houses. And we know some neighbors got some bad home design. I'm looking at you, Hamlet. I'm looking at you in your fucking server room with just a picture of Chrissy and Francine in it. What is wrong with you? Anyway. Oh, delicious. Whoa, I was absolutely losing it. Yes, give me. I will take it. And then they said, also, Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, they're going to get a Series 5. And there's going to be all new villagers added. And, like, they showed off, like, Raymond and stuff. And then they showed, like, there's a robot octopus. And there's a deer that has, like, the Japanese demon horns. Oh, so good. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Anyway, any thoughts on the Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer DLC?
Jesus Christ.
I like 2 things, Brian. I like The Legend of Zelda and Animal Crossing.
That's not true.
What else do I like? I like cats.
You were also previously on the record on this radio program as liking post-apocalyptic redhead lady, the video game.
Oh, yes, that is true. Yes. She is me. It is fine.
And you also like Android Lady.
I do like Android Lady. Yes. I don't like Android Lady as much as I like Android Boy. I like Android Boy and Android Boy. I adopted them both. They are my children. Yay! Also, side note, if anybody is still looking for those Animal Crossing Sanrio cards, they're available at Target. My Target had a shit ton of them. And they also had some of like the fall set and the spring set, which was kind of exciting. I'm probably gonna go back and get some more. But yeah. I'm very excited. Thank you, Animal Crossing, for the food. It's delicious. I can't wait. And, like, if this is simultaneously the last free DLC and the first paid DLC, like, the fact that it's the first paid DLC implies that there may be a second paid DLC later.
They did say they had 3 years of content planned.
I'm so full. I don't know what else they could give me. I hope they give Celeste an astronomy tower. I think that'd be fine. Brewster's Coffee Shop had a picture of him and Celeste, like he took it like a selfie. I can't. I am beside myself. God, they're good animals. I love them so much. I gotta get ready. I'm gonna absolutely stream Happy Home Designer. Shut up.
Oh yeah, go for it.
We're gonna make a nice house together. Brian, are you not excited for Happy Home Designer? You don't like it?
It's not that.
If you don't like it's $25. You can buy it separate. It doesn't have to be part of the Nintendo Switch Online Family Plan. You can just buy it for $25. $24.99.
I think that Animal Crossing is at a point where it functions best as what they call a live services game. You know, like, I think that the way that people want to consume Animal Crossing has more in common with something like Destiny, you know, than the way people have previously consumed these games in the past.
Do you think that's because of quarantine?
I think that's part of it, but I also just think that video games have changed in general. And it was something that, like, I noticed when Animal Crossing happened last year, you know, when we saw stuff like Nookazon, and at the time I was kind of grouchy about it, and I was like, the way people play this game is very different now, and, you know, and people want everything now, and I think that, like, Nintendo is doing this very Nintendo thing where they set a thing, and Nintendo fans, because they want to be happy, are doing this thing where they're like, in order for me to get as much happiness out of this as I want, I literally have to not believe something that Nintendo says during this presentation, which is that, like, this paid update will be the last update of the game. They say they're done. Like, after this update, they're done. But, like, you're out here talking about astronomy towers, and that's fine, because that's what you want. And I think that what you want, Tegan, is also in line with the way that people consume video games now. And I think that Nintendo would be a lot better off if, instead of, like, deluging people with, like, one gigantic update in November and then fucking off forever until the next time they put out an Animal Crossing game, is if when Nintendo releases a game, which is a live services game, they recognize, like, oh, this is a live services game, and just continue to, like, keep it, like, fed with content. There is always this, like, weird disconnect that seems to happen with Splatoon when Nintendo's like, okay, we're going to wrap up, like, a type of support for Splatoon when the game still has, like, this, like, gigantic, well-supported player base. And with Animal Crossing, like, as soon as it rolled back around to, like, the terrible bunny showing back up, you know, like, when we rolled right back around to the bunny earlier this year, and, like, the horrible nightmare bunny was here again, offering us his nightmare eggs and digging up things and shaking trees and stuff, anti-fun again for 2 weeks. And it's like, that's fine, but it kind of reminded everybody that, like, literally everything is happening again, and lamenting the fact that, like, Animal Crossing really wasn't a live services game. Like, where were the new events? You know, like, where are the new summer events? Where are the new spring events? Where are the new fall events? And, like, but
that's not how holidays work. Animal Crossing is specifically structured around the regular holiday calendar.
Yeah, but it is how video games work. Like,
right, but Animal Crossing is specifically structured around the traditional holiday calendar. The same holidays come around every year.
And this is what I was saying, is that, like, in order for Animal Crossing fans to be happy, they have to do some kind of mental gymnastics. And so, like, what it is that, like, live services video games traditionally offer new content. And so, like, even if what they did was they kept the same shitty bunny, you know, putting the eggs everywhere around, that's fine. But, like, where is there something new to do? Like even if there was, like, just, like, a new bug event or a new fish event, just something. And that, like, part of what makes Animal Crossing a joy to interact with is, like, the sensation of, like, discovery buried amongst the mundane. Right? And, like, and whether that is, like, filling out, like, your fish section of your museum, or having that a night where you, like, wish on, like, 30 stars, like, whatever it is, like, there's moments where, like, discovery is buried amongst the mundane. And the problem with Animal Crossing as it is structured now is that you reach a point where you have seen everything there is to offer. And now what they're doing is they're doing this like just giant dump of content versus like a drip feed of content. And so like what's going to happen is that like after a fucking couple months, everyone will have seen all of the new stuff. All of the new stuff will have been seen, and we'll be right back to where we are. Like, I would much rather Animal Crossing keep inviting me to play it versus Animal Crossing being like, all right, I hope you brought 3 trays to the buffet because we're going to put a lot of stuff out right now. I would rather just keep on going up to get a biscuit, like, every couple of weeks, And I don't think I'm alone here. But also, I am just me. Tell me I'm an asshole. Vote now on your phones. Like, I believe that Animal Crossing is a live services game now. And I think that it and Splatoon and Mario Kart and Smash and ARMS can all benefit from being managed differently. I think that like ARMS is probably the best case of like Nintendo, traditional Nintendo thinking, just killing it off, because unlike those other franchises I mentioned, when they tried to launch ARMS as what it was with like traditional Nintendo style management, and they're like, okay, as of today, there's no more ARMS events, like, please fuck off forever. And it's like, okay, Nintendo, well, we will fuck off forever. Like,
I don't think ARMS did as well as they were expecting it to.
And I think that the way that they managed it helped kill it.
Okay.
It's not Mario Kart, it's not Smash, it's not Animal Crossing, which has these, like, very large built-in fan bases. So they couldn't Nintendo it and then have it survive. The thirst for Twintel can only go so far. I'm just saying that, like, for these online, especially when we look at the fucking online service, I spent a significant amount of time earlier on this show bitching about their online, right? Mm-hmm. And the cost of the online.
Okay.
And, like, at the core of online is feeling justified as a customer about the cost that I'm paying to access touching other customers on the internet. Because if I'm playing on a personal computer, then the cost that I am paying to touch other customers on the internet is simply just the cost of my internet access. Like, Steam is not asking me to put another fucking quarter in the touch customers bucket, right?
Sure.
If I'm playing a multiplayer game on Itch is not like, whoa, slow your roll, buddy. Did you buy your Itch online pass? It's simply not happening. If I'm playing a multiplayer game on Apple Arcade on my phone, then Apple is not asking me to spend more money for the multiplayer features of that game. And so this is a thing that console platform holders specifically need to make their players feel satisfied and happy with. And, like, I understand that there is a massive amount of, like, cost associated with, like, maintaining the infrastructure of their online support. And that's fine. That is A-okay. But, like, I think that if I were to create, like, a ranked list of making the cost to access the internet feel justified, Nintendo's coming in dog last because of how few games overall support robust online features, and then how bad those robust online features are in most cases. Like, honestly, like, chatting over voice on a Nintendo game sucks. And generally the first response of any given Nintendo apologist is like, oh, well, you can just use Discord. Then it's like, well, what the fuck am I paying them for then?
Brian, I think the only console service that you require to pay for voice chat is Xbox. Like, you don't have to have PSN to use voice chat on PlayStation systems.
You need to have PSN to play video games online with each other.
Depends on the game, but I understand what you're saying.
Right. Sony, like Microsoft, carves out an exception for just about all of the free-to-play games. If a game is free-to-play, then they usually have an exception carved out. But, like, if I want to play COD online, if I would like to COD with my bros, or if I would like to FIFA with my fellas, then, like, I need to give Microsoft or Sony money in order to, like, play with and talk to other people. Mm-hmm. And what I'm just saying is that, like, even after you hand Nintendo money, it still feels like you're standing on your roof holding up an antenna going like, Ma, are you getting the picture yet? It's just like, I'm going to move the antenna. Ma, are we getting the picture? Okay, cool. I think that you can make people feel like, Jesus, I don't like. It occurs to me that like it's possible to hear what I'm saying, and like really just think it's like capitalism evil stuff. That I'm like that like you can just make people feel better about their purchase by taking the same shit that you're putting in this like this Animal Crossing expansion. Just take all this shit and just like drip feed it over the course of a year. Don't put it all out at once. Just like have people like log into Animal Crossing and be like, Brewster, baby. Like morning stretches at 6 a.m., baby. Gyroids. Like, don't give it to people all at once. Like, a giant dump for a live services game and then announcing that the game is fucking off forever after the dump is bad. I am done now. I realize I hate everything and that I'm allergic to fun and that I have the wrong vibe. I will be over here wrong vibing.
I don't think there's a way to vibe wrong when you're passionate about something.
I will, but I think that most of those people wear red hats to say things about Great America on it. They're pretty passionate, Tegan.
I mean, that's fair, but you're passionate about, like, the games as a service argument, which is not the same thing that we're talking about. You know?
Yeah.
Like, the red hat argument is that's an entirely different ball of wax.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. We're talking specifically about games as an ongoing service. And that is the thing you're passionate about, so I don't think there's a wrong way to vibe about it.
Right. So, like, do I think that the constituent parts of this update are exciting? Yes, I do. I'm very excited about them. I think they look neat. I wish they were being presented in a way that would encourage players to play together over a longer period of time.
Okay.
Is this a podcast?
Yeah, I think so.
This is a podcast!
Hey everyone, it's called Impossible Coin. We're here every week, except for last week. Don't think about last week. It didn't happen to anyone at all.
Last week was a no bones week. We're not going to apologize. The pug did not have bones. It's fair.
I spend too much time on ticking talk.
If you're interested in following the podcast, you can find it wherever you find podcasts. Just remember, it's called Impossible Coin. And as you're checking that out, we give thanks to our good friend Big Sach because he produced the music at the beginning and end of this podcast. You can find the remainder of his work on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/BigSachNJ. And maybe drop him a line on Twitter at Hillary_Swank. Our logo is also a t-shirt and it was designed by Lauren Moran. She's also on Twitter at Lauren Moran, and consider donating to her Patreon. She does good work. And we have one of those too, a Patreon at patreon.com/ImpossibleCoinPodcast, where we keep our artisanal show notes, our bespoke watch-alongs, and audio essays about things that we care about. And we're also on Twitch at twitch.tv/ImpossibleCoin. Tegan streams on Tuesdays. I'm on Wednesdays and some other random days. So if you follow us, you'll get those notifications. Tegan is currently playing Breath of the Wild, and I'm currently playing Tales of Arise. But I've been meaning to dig back into demos. I am going to set aside some time to play Unsighted on stream. And I still got to play through fucking Chicory. Oh my god. And Tegan is also working through Genshin Impact, and I think she's going to do polls on stream as well as the
Chicory is so good. So good.
Chicory is so good. You're going to like it.
We are also on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Brian's on Twitter. Tegan's on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. Once again, no dashes, underscores, X's, none of that stuff. So it should be relatively easy to find, but that's us. That's the show.
Yeah. I'm looking at the SOP document. It's been a while since we weren't here last week, and I was out the week before. I think that what I'm supposed to say at this point is peace.
Bye!
Oh,